You know, we waited 229 days for the return of college football, and it arrives on a southern summer night. It is steamy, it is fun, and those in Chapel Hill, North Carolina cannot wait to see their beloved Tar Heels get back on the field. Happy birthday to Mack Brown, turned 71 today, as he brings the Tar Heels back home to Kenan Stadium. As we welcome you to ACC Network Primetime Football, Florida A&M University paying a trip here to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina, looking to bounce back from a year full of expectations a year ago. What will a new season bring for the Powder Blue? And with that, welcome into our coverage. Tim Hasselback, Matt Berry alongside. Let me start by saying welcome back to college football. We are so excited to be here. We do want to start off with some of the news in this broadcast that you may have heard last night. Florida A&M at one point was not going to board the buses to come to this game because of academic certification issues. At one point, it was 25 players. Tim, we didn't even think we might have a game 24 hours ago.
In fact, we were sitting with Mack Brown as that news was breaking. There was uncertainty if this game was going to be played. Mack said he went from being nervous to playing, about nervous not playing. Now I think he's probably back nervous to playing a game again. And ultimately, I think both sides, with some of these issues figured out, are happy to be here tonight playing.
We were with Mack Brown, as you said, when he got the text. He said, well, boys, we're playing football, and we were excited about that. As for the other side of that, our Kelsey Riggs caught up with FAMU head coach Willie Simmons.
Coach Simmons, I know it has been a whirlwind of the last 48 hours. How do you best describe what happened that led us to this point now?
Well, basically, we had some eligibility issues that we were made aware of Thursday night. So obviously when you find out that close to game time, it kind of sends everyone in a frenzy, in a panic. And, we had some tough decisions to make. Our football team came together, and throughout the adversity, they decided to play this game, even though we're shorthanded at a lot of key positions. And I'm proud of the young men for taking a stand. And, there's some things that we got to do internally to make sure that these issues don't continue to arise. But, again, my focus right now is on these young men and getting them prepared to play a football game.
Kelsey and Coach, thank you. We'll get into Coach Simmons' story. He's very familiar with that field down there here at Kenan Stadium. I want to flip the script now to North Carolina. Top 10 expectations a year ago, fell short of those. 6-7, no Sam Howell. So I'm calling this Mack Brown 2.0 of Mack Brown 2.0 without the star quarterback in Sam Howell.
I think it's a great way to put it, Matt, because, Matt comes onto the scene. He has Sam Howell. He has an electric offense, and everyone's excited about it. A lot of changeover now in terms of the star players on their roster. You're talking about it quarterback, talking about it running back, receiver. Same thing on the defensive side of the ball. I do, however, believe that you can lose star players and maybe be a better football team if you're just stronger across the board. And I'm getting the sense that that's how they feel about it here.
To a man, the coaches and the players have said, we have talent. It's young, but the talent is there. FAMU in North Carolina coming up on ACC Network Primetime Football. We'll talk Drake May coming up.
It's a great challenge for us in the opener, and it should be really fun for the fans to watch.
We could be in store for some fireworks.
We just want to go out there and dominate. We're going to compete. We're going to put it on the field. We're going to give it our all.
Really the biggest thing versus Florida A&M is just to kind of show the world, like, hey, this is a new year, and this is a new season, and we're coming a lot different this year.
Back here, Kenan Stadium, Chapel Hill. I tell you what a night it is. It looks like football. It smells like football. And in a minute, it is going to be college football here as North Carolina getting set to take on Florida A&M. You see FAMU getting set to run out their tunnel. They're expecting close to a sellout crowd here this evening. But the fact that we're even here, we touched on it a moment ago, FAMU had some certification issues. They took the bus ride, and Willie Simmons is going to lead his team here against the North Carolina Tar Heels, who come in loaded with talent, albeit inexperienced, but they do have talent, and there's a lot of offensive talent, a lot of freshmen we'll talk about tonight, and we'll get into Willie Simmons' story, who I love because he came here as a quarterback at Clemson, went slinging it all over the yard, led a comeback against the Tar Heels. I know they don't want to hear that, but you see Willie there getting ready to lead his respective team out of the field in North Carolina, set to take the field. And here come the Rattlers. They've got a big game next week against Jackson State, but Coach Willie Simmons told us this is a get your money game. Get out here. There's NFL scouts all over the field. There's a lot of players they're going to be keeping an eye on tonight. One of them, Isaiah Land, who will not be playing, was a high NFL hopeful, but plenty of talent for the Rattlers as they come here tonight in a game that, look, Tim, the expectations for them aren't great, but the fact that they're here is a good story.
It's a great story. It's a great opportunity for these players. You only get so many of them as a college player. You need to take advantage of them.
I've long said, Tim Hasselbeck, that you could argue these are the best uniforms in college football. Here come the Tar Heels off a 6-7 season a year ago. No one talking about them, no preseason expectations. The Drake May era will get underway tonight. He's got Josh Downs, the star receiver, a couple of talented freshman running backs. So both teams back on the field. We're getting closer to kickoff. I mentioned Drake May, the talented sophomore quarterback, comes in here. Came in highly touted out of high school, but now it is his turn with Sam Howell gone to be the guy for North Carolina.
Yeah, and he's a really impressive athlete. I mean, he's big, he's strong, he has a live arm, and he was in a quarterback battle coming out of training camp, and it was between Drake May and Jacoby Criswell, and ultimately it was the decision-making that was the difference and why Drake May ends up getting the nod. It felt like he did a good job in terms of damage control plays, avoiding the negative stuff, but then also just making good decisions because they do feel like they have talent around him. They want the quarterback to be a distributor of the football, and they feel like Drake May has the ability to do that.
The redshirt freshman certainly has a legacy to live up to here. You look at the May family, what they've done here at North Carolina. His father, Mark, former UNC quarterback, 1986, rocking that thick face mask Hasselbeck used to rock. Led the ACC in passing in 1986. Tell you what, his brother Cole, very athletic, won the 2007 College World Series at Florida. So you've got to live up to all of these brothers. And everybody knows the story of Luke. Game-winning shot against Kentucky, 2017. UNC went to the Final Four. So for more on Drake May, the young starting quarterback, we go down to the third member of our team, and Kelsey Riggs. Hey, Kelsey.
Well, guys, I got to catch up with the May family earlier, Luke specifically, and you talk about that legacy. When I spoke to him, he said after 2017, my dad was no longer the former North Carolina quarterback. He became known as Luke's dad. What he wants for his brother tonight is that after this game, he's no longer known as Luke. He's known as Drake May's brother. He wants him to have that moment. He says he told him to compete, to have fun, to be a leader. And when we talked to Mac Brown about Drake May, he said he has the mentality of, I'm supposed to be here. Sure, there's nerves, but this is his moment. He's ready to see what he has.
You know, Kelsey, it's a great point. At one point, Drake May was an Alabama commit, but even the coaching staff stayed on him after he committed to Alabama, saying that they knew that he was destined to be a quarterback here for the Tar Heels, and we'll get a look at him tonight. You've said everything about him. Lively arm, big kid. Pressure to replace Sam Howell. Pressure with the family who's got a legacy here.
And that's why I think that perspective, Matt, of feeling like, no, I should be here. I belong here. I've envisioned myself here. I've dreamt about this since being a young kid. I think that has value. I think it's important for a young player that's going to get an opportunity to do what you said, replace somebody that was an all-time great here playing the position at North Carolina.
You know, set the table for him real quick, because you don't need to come in game one, snap one, series one, and do everything.
No, and we asked him, had a chance to sit with him, enjoyed that time, and said, what are you going to feel like? What are the emotions going to be? And he said, look, I'm sure I'm going to be anxious. I'm sure I'll be a little bit nervous. And so I think the big thing is, when you haven't played a ton of football over the last year and a half, to find an opportunity, find some completions, use guys like that. Josh Downs doesn't have to be the most difficult throw, something around the line of scrimmage, and let guys like Josh Downs do the work.
We talk about players in this era who leave. Josh Downs set all kinds of school records a year ago. He is very much here and ready to be another star again for the Tar Heels. FAMU wins the toss. They elected to receive. We'll get into their quarterback in just a minute. Jonathan Kim going to do the kicking for North Carolina. But as I said at the top of the show, I'll say it again. We waited 229 days for the return of college football. Sit back, relax, and enjoy ACC primetime football here in Chapel Hill. Kick's going to go into the end zone, and that's where we will bring out the FAMU offense led by Jeremy Musa, their starting quarterback, a transfer from Vandy. Some fans might be familiar with him, but he gets the start for the Rattlers.
Yeah, and he's physically impressive, 6'3", 225. He has a live arm. Got a chance to see him prior to the game, throwing in warm-ups. I think they're excited about his decision-making. He was in a competition, obviously, with Rashawn McKay. He comes out of camp as the starter, and I think they're excited about what he may do. Now, it's been a while, Matt, since he's been hit. Quarterbacks are typically off limits in practice. We'll see if the game moves fast for him.
One of the big storylines for FAMU, Cameron Coven, their starting right tackle, is not here. He was one of the players that was not certified. So kind of a working line for Musa and the Rattlers. 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 25. Musa the play fake, quick out to 83, Darian Oxendine. And a gain of 8 and a good start from Musa and the Rattlers.
Well, Matt, here's the thing. When we found out right away, the receivers from FAMU can go. They're fast, they're quick, and you just see the run after catch ability by Oxendine.
You're going to know tempo with this Willie Simmons offense. He came up through Rich Rodriguez at Clemson. He said all Musa has to do is drive the car. And again, quick snap, quick throw, and a first down. That's David Manigo moving the chains, and a gain of 6, tackled by Storm Duck.
And this is a great challenge for North Carolina. Their secondary's probably been one of the more underperforming groups for this program over the last few years, and they get a challenge with these receivers.
Early first down has to feel good for FAMU. Musa going to throw it for the 3rd time, and again a completion. That's the star receiver, Xavier Smith. We'll be talking about number 19 throughout the night. He is a talented kid. He's a fast kid, and they're going to look to get him the ball.
Yeah, and he's on the NFL radar, to kind of just continue on with how much speed and talent they have at wide receiver. He's somebody that could end up playing on Sundays.
So quick start for FAMU. That's Smith in motion. Jennings, the ball carrier in the backfield. A good job by North Carolina's defensive front. That's Power Eccles, one of the players, new defensive coordinator. Coach Chizik says is the heart of the defense, and a good play by Eccles.
And an awesome name for a linebacker.
It really
Let's
is.
just be honest.
Nearly intercepted by Storm Duck on 3rd and 4. And so after a quick start, the North Carolina defense is going to force a punt. But Storm Duck's one of those players we talked about, has all the talent. Can he live up to those expectations?
Yeah, just zone coverage, and Storm Duck is trapping the inside out. The inside route is breaking out, and Storm Duck traps it. It's an opportunity to pick that and take it all the way back the other way. He's one of these corners, between Tony Grimes and Storm Duck, guys that have a ton of talent that they feel like can be really good players, just want to see them show up more consistently.
Chris Fadul, the punter for FAMU. Josh Downs deep to receive. He's got a fair catch it at the 11-yard line. And so here comes Drake May, the redshirt freshman quarterback from nearby Huntersville, North Carolina. Had all the accolades coming out of high school, and now he's got this offense in his control.
And there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and the expectations, the anticipation for it, but he has the talent. I think people are going to be a little bit surprised by his athleticism. Had a coach on the field compare him to Daniel Jones in terms of athleticism. We'll see if we see some of that.
Downs in motion early. The give to the running back, DJ Jones, who gets the start in a crowded backfield. We'll see all 4 running backs tonight between Jones and Caleb Hood and a couple of talented freshmen. And a short gain for Jones on first down.
And no mistake about it, Matt, the advantage clearly for North Carolina would probably be running right at the Rattlers. Bigger up front, and obviously, as you said, the talented running backs.
May going to throw it, taking a shot, has a man. It is incomplete. intended for J.J. Jones. Courtney Cox on the coverage. And the first throw for Drake May, first chance to see that arm, ball's incomplete.
It was a great throw. J.J. Jones wins on the route. He's on top of the defensive back. The ball is right there, and it's a pretty good job, and kind of nice to get kind of bumped into for the first time, feel like you're in the heat of a game, but that's a nice throw right out of the gate by Drake May. I'm sure he wishes J.J. Jones came down with that one.
So 3rd and 9 for May in the offense, first possession of the game. Time for May, climbs the pocket to the sidelines, goes right back to Jones. And he's going to be short of the first down after a gain of 8. It's going to be 4th and inches.
FAMU, playing a 2 deep, and I actually live thought this maybe was a penalty. It should have been.
I don't even know if he was in bounds when he caught that.
No, J.J. Jones stepped out of bounds and then came back in bounds to catch the football. First one to touch it, that'd be illegal touching, and actually should have been a penalty instead of a gain. Either way, Tar Heels punting.
Ben Kiernan, Ray Guy Award watch list. They missed the penalty. Xavier Smith, their talented receiver, deep to receive the punt. And he too is going to fair catch it right there at the 30-yard line, so nothing doing for the offense. Going to be defense and defense early on after the punt of 49. 0-0 here early in the first quarter on ACC Network. Tim Hasselback, Matt Berry back with you. We mentioned Mac Brown 2.0 all the time. Well, it's 2.0 for new defense coordinator Gene Chizik, Tim, who comes back to be Mac Brown's defensive coordinator. He's got national championship pedigree. Listen to this. He said, you know what my task is? Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. Let guys play fast. And there's no question there was kind of instant credibility with the players with his success. Obviously seeing him on TV the past few years, they're excited to have him.
And an early strike, Musa finds his receiver, number 10, Jamarie Shareed, at a gain of 9. And Chizik, of course, defensive coordinator at Texas with Mac Brown when they won that national championship with Vince Young at quarterback. And then the head coach at Auburn, he won the national championship at Cam Newton at quarterback. So Chiz comes back to coach for Mac Brown, feeling pretty good about his defensive line, so that'll be the strength of the unit. Musa again to throw, incomplete. Good coverage on the play by number 16, DeAndre Boykins.
And it's good to see Boykins, if you're Gene Chizik, making a play. Having seen North Carolina a few times the last couple years, it just seems like moment of truth. Defensive backs making the play as the wide receivers going for the football. That's where they kind of really disappointed. And I think they were at times embarrassed by that effort. I think that's part of Gene Chizik wanting to keep it simple, Matt. Let guys play fast. Really just get better at doing less.
See if they can do enough to stop the first down. They can't. That's Jennings, who's going to move the chains for the Rattlers after a gain of 4. Jabari Ritzie on the tackle. And we got an injury on the field. And that's number 1, Tony Grimes, one of the corners we had talked about early on. So we're going to step aside with a 10 to Tony Grimes. We'll be back. Rattlers ball moving here early first quarter. All right, so the good news for North Carolina, Tony Grimes popped up pretty quickly. He did go to the medical tent. Tim, what did you see on the play?
The bad news, Matt, is it a bit of an ugly collision. There's Grimes there, and you see as Jennings is finishing this run, a lot of contact, and Grimes slow to get up, and he's a player. We've said it a few times now that he's a player that has a lot of ability that the Tar Heels would like to see step up and end up being a great player. And out right now.
He was the number 1 cornerback, 5-star in the class of 21. Came in very highly touted, hoping to get some production out of him finally. And that's Xavier Smith making a couple players miss and a big gain for the Rattlers. Another nice gain of 6. And some early tempo and success for FAMU.
Tempo and success, and just another way to get Xavier Smith the ball in space. That's really what you're trying to do in this offense. Find green grass for these talented receivers. And Smith, who had 16 catches in a game last year against South Florida, Willie Simmons kind of joked. He said this will be an IV game. He's going to need one after the game. He's going to touch it so much.
Again, tempo from Musa. Good play there by 23. Power Eccles for no gain. Jeremiah Pruitt, the receiver. You get the sense, talking to everyone this week, that it was the defense above anybody else that felt like they had something to prove, not only tonight, but for the entire season.
The word we heard a lot, Matt, was embarrassed. Embarrassed by the performance a year ago. That's why I think the arrival of Gene Chizik and simplifying things and playing faster is key.
3rd and 5 for Musa in the offense. Pressure, good throw, good catch, and another first down for FAMU. That Xavier Smith, gain of 7, continues to be active. Dante Balfour brings him down.
And you can see they move him around. Here he is in the slot, just a little bit of a quick out, find that soft spot between the corner and the linebacker, and ball's coming out quick. I think Jeremy Musa's doing an excellent job not holding on to it for too long.
7 of 9 as Musa takes a shot downfield. It's incomplete. Overthrows Trevante Davis. Back to Xavier Smith for a second. The goal tonight, they said use him, use him, use him, use him. Get all the energy you can out of him. He's their best player.
Yeah, and a lot of talk about, on the other side, hey, we need to get Josh Downs the ball. Get Josh Downs the ball. Well, the same feeling goes for Xavier Smith. He's that type of player. He's got a great feel. He's got great speed. He's got good run after the catch. And, I think whether it's a touch pass, whether it's, a route down the field, they want to get him the ball.
Pressure on Musa. Goes down. Sacked by Noah Taylor. And really the first big play we've seen out of that North Carolina defense tonight, a loss of 9.
Yeah, here's Noah Taylor, just a speed rush from the left side, and really Jalen Goss just doesn't hold up whatsoever. I mentioned Moose had been getting rid of the football, just holds it a beat there. And Noah Taylor, who had a really nice career, played in 44 games at UVA. I think his arrival here, his experience to go along with some of the young talented players, maybe calling his name quite a bit.
So we'll see if that energizes the North Carolina defense. FAMU elects to run on 3rd and 19. That was Jennings. And so the Tar Heels are going to force a punt after the sack by Taylor. And that's what Gene Chizik wants to see. Some aggressive pass rush from the unit he set up front. Best part of the defense.
Hey, if you're going to simplify things and let guys just kind of turn it loose, you want to see efforts like that out of Noah Taylor, playing with speed, turning the corner, and getting to the quarterback.
So officials blew the whistle, not sure for what. The official timeout. I think they're going to reset the play clock, it looked like, for a second. Back to play now. Padula to punt, Josh Downs to receive. Probably a wise thing to keep it away from Downs. 2 punts, no returns on both. But Josh Downs returns. He is a talented player.
Yeah, he's the most accomplished player for the Tar Heels. They just want to get him the ball in space. Last year against Virginia, just find an open area. Look at the long speed run after the catch. So good. Then find creative ways. The fake bubble, little tunnel screen. Again, the run after the catch. Get him the ball around the line of scrimmage. Let him go to work. But he's not just a guy with kind of one tool in the toolbox. Ability to stretch the field, and then also strong with your hands for a catch. This is an outstanding play, securing the ball through the ground. And Josh Downs, somebody they need to get the ball to.
I would expect him to be a factor, and they are excited about that player that just got the ball. That is the true freshman, Omarion Hampton, who is the North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year. Everybody that talks about 28 Hampton said this kid's going to be special.
Yeah, 220 pounds, a load to get to the ground, runs with power, has a lot of speed as well.
That's a good tackle for Kendall Bowler. His brother BJ is out of tonight's game, but Kendall makes the stop on Hampton for no gain.
That's an excellent tackle. As we're talking about Hampton's kind of power and hard to get to the ground. As we expect to see him on early downs to keep him out of some pass protection issues, it's a heck of a job by Bowler.
Already the third running back in the game for the Tar Heels. That's George Pettaway, another talented true freshman. May steps up in the pocket. Good job climbing it. Pass is complete to Gavin Blackwell. And a gain of 12. Here comes the tempo, first down, North Carolina.
Yeah, good job adjusting to the football. You said May climbing. Good job by Blackwell.
The fake to Pettaway, quick throw to Downs, skips that short, falls incomplete.
Yeah, you see May climb in the pocket. I thought this ball was going to end up being incomplete. That's a really nice job of Blackwell, who's running into the middle of the field to kind of gather himself, make that catch. And as you saw earlier, Matt, rain coming down. I don't know if it has a factor, but on the grip of Drake May, certainly skip the one on the next play to Downs.
That's the freshman Hampton again up the middle. Gain of 1, the Darius Fagan on the tackle. So many things for viewers here on ACC Network. If you watch a team like North Carolina tonight, you're already seeing Hampton, a true freshman. We've seen Pettaway, another true freshman. Who's going to be some of these receivers that step up to complement Josh Downs? There are so many question marks that they feel they have the talent to answer.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that they feel like they have talent in Andre Green and Gavin Blackwell, but I think they're waiting to see as well.
So another third down for May. They said he can run, and Drake May. Big gain for the redshirt freshman quarterback. Bowler knocks him out at a gain of 42. Everyone knew Sam Howell was a runner, but they said don't sleep on Drake May's ability to run.
Well, and he told us the same thing. It's a nice job of Corey Gaynor sticking with his block, the center, and then how about the moves in the open field for a player that's listed at 6'5", 220. I'm really impressed with the elusiveness of Drake May in the open field.
What do you want to bet? They're going to tell him to slide next time.
There's no doubt they're going to tell him to slide.
Like, you can run, son, but you got to slide. Something Sam didn't do well either, but he was a heck of a player here. May, the play fake to the end zone. Touchdown, Tar Heels. Kamari Morales puts the Tar Heels on the board first. A May 42-yard run sends up the big play and the touchdown for the Tar Heels.
What I love about that, Matt, is you just had a big run. Quarterback's tired. You're late substituting a running back. And then the type of throw that it took was a little bit of touch to the tight end for the score for a young player in terms of managing the entire operation. That was really impressive.
So Noah Burnett on for the extra point. 7 plays, 78 yards. And Tim, it was a jump start by Drake May that led this to happen.
It was a jump start after an outstanding run. Just a great job of managing the pocket. Excellent touch to Kamari Morales. Now Tar Heel Nation is something to cheer about with Drake May.
You're taking a look at Corey Gaynor, a transfer. He's the starting center, came over from Miami. They said after 2.5 months, this kind of passion got him to be a team captain and a leader of this team early on in his career at North Carolina.
You gotta love it. I mean, basically coming over, kind of talking as a coach, and you kind of just see the passion, and they feel like it is a big upgrade at the position, and kind of what the team needs. Seems like there's a camaraderie that has started with the team that Corey Gaynor has been behind.
All right, what'd you see out of him on that long 42-yard run?
Listen, here's what I like. He ends up missing his block. He kind of overruns, this block here to get the linebacker Fagan. And as they end up moving, it's the relentless effort just to stay on it, try to finish it. And that little bit ends up getting Drake May into the open field. And so it seems like a little thing, but rather than just quitting on it, just staying with it, sticking to it. And look, I think that's why. That stuff shows up. Teammates see it. They talk about it. And then when a guy who's only been here for a few months speaks up in a team meeting or runs over and talks to coaches on the sideline, everybody respects it, looks at it, appreciates it. I think that's why he's viewed as a leader right now.
An impressive drive for North Carolina. 42 of the yards in the 78-yard touchdown drive came from the May run. Up 7-0. Here's Musa and the Rattlers again. And you just wonder, Tim, if this game started a little sluggish defensively for North Carolina. The offense didn't come out great. You had the sack on defense, the run by May. See if that kind of ignites the Tar Heels here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, between the sack and the big play, you would think that that's the case. I will say that FAMU's done an excellent job, I feel like, especially on that initial drive, of having the ball come out quickly. That obviously negates the pass rush and plays into their strength of getting the ball to their athletes on the perimeter.
Musa pulls it right read and a first down for FAMU. Dante Balfour on the tackle. He's in playing because Tony Grimes was injured. Go down to Kelsey with more.
Well, yeah, guys, Tony Grimes was in that medical tent for quite a while and then finally went jogging into the locker room, kind of had his head down the whole time. I did just get official word he is out for the rest of the game. They're calling it an upper body injury. Obviously, very disappointing for him and this team. He was looking to be more consistent leader, so we'll see how he is going forward, but out for the game today.
So a challenge on the depth for the corners early on. Balfour in, Storm Duck in, and now A.J. Davis, the Pitt transfer running back, in for FAMU. But the ball goes to Devontae Davis and a gain of 6.
You see some of the stuff that FAMU's trying to do, get into empty, kind of misdirection tunnel screens, moving at a pace. You know, and I think that's why keeping it simple is what Gene Chizik wanted to do defensively.
Musa again a first down, and he's doing a good job with what Willie Simmons says. Drive the car. You don't need to add rims. We'll get you to where you need to be.
That's a great point, Matt. Stole that from Tommy Bowden from, when he played for him. Is you want the quarterback to drive the car. You referenced it in terms of making good decisions. I do think that Musa has done a good job of that.
Again, stands in the pocket. That's a good shot over the middle. And a first down caught by Kobe Gross. Gain of 15.
And it's a fake wide receiver screen to the outside, throw the seam. And Willie Simmons, I think, doing a nice job switching things up, calling these plays.
The fake to Davis. Musa again sets his feet. Receiver falls. It's going to fall incomplete. Javonte Davis, the player that slipped. We noted a moment ago, rain earlier this afternoon, and then when the game kicks, kind of opened up a little bit. So 2nd and 10. A nice job early on by the Rattlers offense, moving it. No points to show for it. And Moose, another good shot, finds the soft spot to Manigo, and another first down, FAMU.
Yeah, and it was the motion with Xavier Smith, little option route that drew the underneath coverage. Watch Smith draw the underneath coverage from Balfour, and that is what opens up the corner route to Manigo.
Game of tempo. Musa going to throw it back, has Davis. Davis caught, touchdown Rattlers. And what a drive and what an answer by Florida A&M. Musa went right through it, back on a wheel route to A.J. Davis, the Pitt transfer. They're going to have another look, but what a play call by Willie Simmons.
Play call, that's possession. That's a foot and a knee down, and A.J. Davis, see if he possesses it all the way through. It's a touchdown, Matt.
It's a touchdown and an answer. They had the mismatch on Chris Collins, took advantage of it. And just like that, we're an extra point away from Jose Romo Martinez from tying this one up late first quarter. 8 plays, 75 yards in 2.5 minutes. We saw everything that they want to be about on offense on that possession. Tempo, find the mismatch and score.
Yeah, and it was a great job of play calling, a variety of things, some stuff on the perimeter, some, motions, try to create opportunities, and then this is a called designed throwback. Basically what's going to happen, A.J. Davis is going to come out of the backfield after they clear the coverage, and they end up getting the matchup that they want, fake to the back, and then you end up getting Chris Collins, who's a linebacker at 245 pounds, trying to run with A.J. Davis. Move the pocket play to bring the coverage that direction. It's an outstanding throw, and then it's a great catch. Typically speaking, contested catches by running backs, not typically what they do well, especially a back like Davis, who's more of a power runner. But that's a really nice grab, great throw, great call, and as you said, Matt, great answer.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the throw, because Jeremy Musa, again, he won the starting job. Rashawn McKay has played ball for FAMU. Musa goes into camp, wins it, the transfer from Vanderbilt. All he's done, 11 for 15, 98 yards of touchdowns, already run the ball a couple of times, but 8 different receivers, which, by the way, coming into the game with the eligibility issues, receivers were going to be a question mark.
And it sounds like that is driving the car for Willie Simmons on offense, distributing the football, finding the guy that's available, and been really impressed by him, really impressed. And for a guy that hasn't played football in a while, Willie Simmons said, look, he's kind of that California, QB. He's kind of got that cool to him. He's definitely accurate, and we've seen that so far.
You want to know what driving a car looks like? Willie Simmons knows exactly what it looks like. As the quarterback at Clemson against North Carolina trailed 17-0. Woody Dantzler, the starter, got hurt. Here comes Simmons just slinging the pill. 4 touchdown passes and a comeback win. And the third-ranked Tigers, 38-24. We talked to Willie pregame. He's like, that's the end zone.
He was like, one in that zone, couple in that end zone down there. Said he went into the facility this week. Some of his players had the game pulled up on YouTube watching it. I think it probably felt pretty good. It'd be like, hey, maybe Coach could sling it a little bit, because he did tell us the shoulder not the same as it was back in early 2000s.
He got mad at me before the game. Can you imagine it was 22 years ago? Can you believe that? I said, man, I'm old. I'm getting old. That's Caleb Hood. Already the 4th running back we've seen tonight. That's Gentle Hunt on the tackle. But it goes to belief. When you believe in your coach, when he's got skins on the wall of how he played quarterback and he gets it, it goes into belief of what the system is all about.
Yeah, and he experienced it as a player. He's done a good job of implementing it with this program, and he's got a quarterback playing well in that system.
Quick shot to Hood to the right side. Caleb Hood is going to move the ball. Ball pops out. But it looks as if he fumbled it out of bounds before it popped back in. Nonetheless, going to be a first down for the Tar Heels. Eric Smith was the player that forced the fumble.
I think this is interesting, Matt. We've seen 3 running backs now in a few drives. 4, actually, you're right. And when you think about this, and Caleb Hood's a guy that's got a ton of talent. Protecting the football, knowing your responsibilities, and doing it the right way. I think the Tar Heels are looking for someone to emerge as the go-to guy.
They've called Hood the most explosive of the backs. That's Hampton, the true freshman, and again, at a gain of 3, tackled by Abu Banagora.
Dre, we've seen Hood, we've seen Petaway, we've seen DJ Jones, Marion Hampton. I think it's a great opportunity, behind a relatively experienced offensive line, a young quarterback. It's a great opportunity for these young backs.
Look, Phil Longo, offensive coordinator, said they want to play 18 to 22 players a game. They are certainly on pace for that. Drake does a nice job across his body, finding Josh Downs, another first down for the Tar Heels. Kendall Bowler on the tackle.
Yeah, move the pocket play. What's interesting now, I think there's, when you look at Downs crossing the formation on a boot play, Drake May came out of high school as the traditional pocket passer, and some of the more explosive plays we've seen out of this offense so far have been with Drake May on the move.
2 first downs, delayed draw. That's Omari and Hampton. There goes the freshman. Gain of 11. Got into that second level of the defense, and this kid's 6 foot 220. He's a load.
And you see just the way he finishes. I like the patience there. A bit of a lag draw, a little delay by Hampton in the backfield, and then good finish.
Blitz coming. May picks it up, and a good job getting it to his receiver. Makes a man miss. That's Gavin Blackwell. And here comes the Phil Longo offense, gain of 12. Lovey Jenkins forces him out.
This is awesome right here. Corner blitz. Watch Drake May see this. This is a side adjustment throwing hot. I believe they have a run called there. He just spits the ball outside so you don't run right into the teeth of that blitz. That is a big-time quarterback play right there of seeing it pre-snap by Drake May. That was awesome.
Each play, each possession gets a little bit more comfortable. As North Carolina now 6 plays on this drive, 4 first downs. Ball inside the 25. May gonna throw again. Has a receiver wide open, and that is Bryson Nesbitt. North Carolina, touchdown Tar Heels. .23-yard reception, and already, Tim, 2 touchdowns, both to the tight end. It seems as if he's comfortable with the big guys catching the ball.
Yeah, comfortable with the big guys. Obviously, with some usage of a formation, they get some confusion in the secondary, and Drake May seeing it perfectly right now for Phil Longo's offense.
So 7 plays, 75 yards, 2:52 off the clock. Now we're having fun, Timmy. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Let's go.
We are having fun. Here's what happens. They run a corner with this tight end here. He's going to go first, and in the wake of that release, Nesbitt's going to come to the post. It causes confusion. You have 2 going for 1, and Nesbitt is wide open. May sees it perfectly. Great call, great execution, and you're right. Now the tight ends are happy, and Nesbitt is a guy. He's a receiver. I think they feel like they can use him as a tight end. They feel like they can use him as a receiver. And when we asked Drake May about, guys he's excited about, we all know about Josh Downs, he said, Bryson Nesbitt's a pretty good player.
Nesbitt came up 3 times, from the quarterback, from the offensive coordinator, from the head coach. And so they like him here. Nesbitt, Kamari Morales caught the first touchdown. So if you're keeping track at home, if you're a North Carolina fan and say, you know what, we know we've got talent, who do we need to keep an eye on this year? Nesbitt won. We saw Amari in Hampton. It's just about the guys that have these star rankings attached to them coming in, getting experience and getting comfortable.
Yeah, and let's face it too, Matt, opened up talking about, look, Sam Howell's not here, and I think there's a tendency sometimes when a great player at a school graduates, even if you've got, a talented player behind him or replacing him, there's still that uncertainty. But I think Mac Brown's pretty comfortable about playing football still without Sam Howell.
Yeah, media people like you see Sam Howell's gone, all of a sudden North Carolina's not going to be any good, don't talk about him, but certainly a good start for the young quarterback. 7 of 9, 99 yards and 2 touchdowns early. We're just getting word that there was a lightning strike in the area that caused a couple of our cameras to have to shut down by rule. But for now, the game will continue. But if you notice, the camera angle's looking perhaps a little unique than what you're typically used to on a broadcast. It's because of a lightning strike in the area. When we get the all clear, we'll power them back up and give you the traditional angle. But for now, this is what we have. North Carolina up 14-7, under 30 here in the first quarter. A.J. Davis, the carry. Power Eccles, he's had a busy first quarter, brings it down after a gain of 2. See an injured player for FAMU running off the field. Their offensive line depth right now isn't great because of some of the certification issues, so they can't afford to lose many players. There's Brian Crawford, the injured player, who got the start at left guard because of the moving around with some of the players that were ineligible. So that'll do it for the first quarter. It started a bit slow. The offenses started to pick it up. We had the young quarterback, Drake May, in his first start. Jeremy Musa came to play, so did the Rattlers, but after 1, it's the home team, North Carolina, up 14-7 here on ACC Network. Start of the second quarter, Tim Hasselbeck, Matt Berry, Kelsey Riggs here, ACC football prime time. North Carolina in their season opener, taking on FAMU. 14-7. Jeremy Musa in at quarterback for FAMU, and he's had a good start, and that continues to David Manigo over the middle in a gain of 12.
It does continue, Matt. I mean, he did an excellent job of getting through his progression. They actually started to the left, had to drift, give a little bit of ground, and it's a nice shot on a deep in cut.
And again, if you're just joining us here, start of the second quarter, you notice a wide shot on your television screen. We had lightning in the area, so we had to cut down some of the cameras for safety protocol. So we'll give you the view from all 22, some of the end zone cams. But right now, the cameras we have are the cameras you get. Is A.J. Davis off to the right side. Cedric Gray, one of the leaders of this defense, on the tackle. First time we've called Ced's name tonight.
It is. And Matt, you know, the fans get a chance to look at the angle we get to look at, which is a pretty nice one.
They can go up to the TV, draw the telestration with a Sharpie.
People have basically
just get all Tim Hasselbeck.
It's like a mega cast, essentially, Matt. We're going to give you everything you want.
Who knew Eddie Placey called up a mega cast for the primetime opener? It's the give off the left side. A good job by North Carolina's defense. No gain. And Desmond Evans on the tackle.
You know, and FAMU offensively, Matt, has done a good job, I think, of getting the ball out quickly, finding space to get the ball to their fast receivers, and kind of staying out of known passing situations where they do need to push the ball down the field a little bit. This is just the second one they've had of the night, and the last time they had one, we saw Noah Taylor get a sack.
So 3rd and 6. Again, depth going to be an issue tonight for FAMU. Wonder, as the game goes on, if fatigue will be a factor. Came out of the gates fast. Musa to throw. Takes a shot downfield, misses his receiver. Manigo, the intended receiver, overshoots him. And the Rattlers are going to punt.
Actually thought that was another good throw by Musa. Manigo, I think, kind of just misjudged the football a little bit. Maybe had to adjust behind him a bit, but they had it. And again, FAMU doing a good job of calling plays to get guys open and just not able to connect. A good stop for the Tar Heels.
See if Josh Downs here takes an opportunity. There's going to be early movements on Florida A&M. We'll back them up 5 yards.
Ball start, kicking team, 36, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
All right, so we will continue to update you on the camera situation. Tim, we were able to locate a camera from the truck that is not a manned camera, which is why you start seeing a little zoom in and zoom out.
I thought that was your.
That's fun, right?
I thought that was your personal Instagram camera that you travel with. Is that right?
I don't travel with an Instagram camera. I travel with a cell phone. That's a camera first. Downs makes a man miss. And Josh Downs does a good job getting the ball across the 17-yard line. So that's where we'll see Drake May, 51-yard punt, 9 return. Back to Chapel Hill after this. Welcome back to ACC Primetime Football. Drake May getting his first start of his young North Carolina career, 7 of 9, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's completed passes to 6 different receivers, spreading the ball around well early.
He's been great, and really had an incompletion on his first pass that was a go route I thought should have been caught. So good start for Drake May.
That's Hampton off the left side. Here goes the true freshman, Amarian Hampton. Boy, he's not afraid to lower his shoulder and deliver a hit at a gain of 13. Kamani King on the tackle.
And an excellent job of the Tar Heels kind of sealing the perimeter to get Hampton to the edge. And we've said it earlier, at 220 pounds, he is a load and got the ability to finish with some power.
Did you drop a Natron Means last night during our Asian Fusion dinner?
I said, I did. I said, listen, this Fusion dinner is phenomenal, and on top of it, we might see a young Natron Means.
All things happening. May taking a shot. Incomplete. Josh Downs, the intended receiver, and that was King on the coverage.
I like what Phil Longo did there. Rip off a big run, play action, take a shot to Josh Downs if you've kind of been working him on some underneath stuff and just not able to connect. Florida A&M doing a good job of staying deep, and then Drake May leaves that one just a little bit inside.
Talked to Longo before the game, said early on he was going to high percentage get Drake comfortable. We saw a couple of shots early on, but high percentage passes from May early on. There's another one. There's Morales, the tight end, already scored a touchdown, gain of 14, and a first down UNC.
And what I love so far, Matt, is how much we're seeing out of the tight ends. It's really not been something that we've seen North Carolina do offensively in recent years, but it's been a big part of it tonight.
Quick shot, quick throw, caught. J.J. Jones. Winsome Frazier knocks him out. 2 plays, 2 first downs.
Pass is complete to number 2, Gavin Blackwell. Gain of 10 on the play. First down, Tar.
Well, speaking of the tight ends, we mentioned, we've seen Morales now, but we've also mentioned Nesbitt, who's in the game, lined up in the slot, and he drew an Evan Ingram comparison from Phil Longo in our meeting with him.
Made a throw, flag on the play, and he just knows to go down after good pressure from the FAMU defense. We'll check the flag.
Offside. Defense number 97 lined up in the neutral zone. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
So penalty on the Rattlers moves the change for North Carolina.
And that would be one there, Matt. You talk about a young player learning. You see the flag, get a sense of the offsides, knowing that no matter what, penalty on the defense, you've had the ability to take a shot. We see Aaron Rodgers do it. We've seen Tom Brady do it. Sam Howell actually did an excellent job of it here. See that area of Drake May's game maybe develop over time.
It was DJ Jones, started the game at running back, brought down by Fagan. An early part of the season around the country. It starts in earnest next week, week 0. You get 11 games, kind of get your taste of college football. We're going to see this out of a lot of teams, breaking in new quarterbacks, new running backs, receivers. Those first couple of weeks are finding out what you're going to have the rest of the way.
Yeah, it can build a lot of confidence for the player as well.
And again, another shot across the middle. Again, it's a tight end. That's Nesbitt. And a first down, North Carolina, gain of 7.
Yeah, and it's going to look like the ball's thrown behind him, but it's actually an awesome job of Drake May trying to slow Nesbitt down to protect him from the hit. As the quarterback, you want to be the eyes for the receiver, and that's why the ball was behind.
What a grab there by Downs. Adjusting to the back shoulder throw at a gain of 7.
You can see how tempo and then just number of guys to throw the football to for Drake May, how this offense can be a challenge and why they're looking for guys outside of Downs and Nesbitt. We've seen J.J. Jones a few times now.
Ball spotted at the 24. That's Hampton up the middle. There goes Omarion Hampton, and the true freshman takes it to the 6-yard line. Kendall Bowler missed the tackle. Gain of 18 for Hampton.
Still too early for Natron Means, Matt? Still too early because that's a good finish. Good job blocking up front. 2 backs in the backfield, and Hampton hitting it hard downhill.
Tar Heels moving the ball again to give to Hampton. And he's met immediately at the front. Johnny Chaney on the tackle. Natron refried beans. Yeah.
I mean, how much did you want me to say that so you could do that? I mean, just let's be real.
To be candid, I was waiting for the touchdown, but I figured, you know what? Get it in now so you know you get it in.
They have played 4 backs. So you were rolling the dice.
Play your cards right, you'll be the 5th. Ball at the 6. Hampton, what a great tackle. Nadarius Fagan, one of the better defenders, met him right at the hole. There is a flag on the play.
This is a big-time collision. See 27 Fagan playing downhill, and
there is a flag on the play.
And again, if you're just joining us and you're wondering about
Substitution infraction. Defense, 12 men on the field. After this, second down.
Get the call there from Mike Roach, their official for tonight. Another penalty on FAMU. Do want to remind the viewers, cameras, because of lightning, had to take a couple of them down, which is why you're seeing that high angle view. As soon as the 30 minutes expires, if no lightning strike, we'll get everybody back to work and back on the cameras. For now, we'll go high angle for you here. 2nd and goal for the Tar Heels. Both tight ends in the game, Morales and Nesbitt. Caleb Hood in the backfield. They give to Hood, and again, that defensive line for FAMU's done a good job here. Goal to go, getting those running backs stopped. Loss of 1.
They have been active, and that's one of the things you have to do when you're undersized is you want to, kind of slant and move. In a kind of a goal line environment with Drake May under center. Nice job of getting some penetration.
So now 3rd and goal, North Carolina. The fake to Hood. May rolls out, makes the guy miss to the end zone, incomplete. That's the 3rd tight end, John Koppenhaver, the intended receiver. Winsome Fraser on the coverage.
Yeah, and it's a really good job by Drake May. He's trying to get Nesbitt in the flat right away. He's not available to him, and so he ends up looking to Koppenhaver, who's coming across the back of the end zone. He's able to outrun the contain. Thought he delivered a nice football. Koppenhaver should have come down with it.
They're going to send him back out there. Here we go, Tim. They're going to go forward on 4th down.
And I'm looking at Nesbitt.
May. Forced out of the pocket. To the end zone. Touchdown, Tar Heels. Gavin Blackwell on 4th and goal. Scores for North Carolina. Now up 20-7.
And this is a second reaction play by Drake May that's really, really impressive. I think in terms of the curiosity of the type of player that you're going to see, it's not going to be a statue in the pocket, clearly, when Drake May is under center.
Yeah, his mobility, I would say, early on here in this first half, probably the most impressive thing we've seen. We knew he had the arm, heard about the ability to be mobile, and he's shown it tonight.
And I think a bit of a surprise, Matt.
So 12 plays, 83 yards. Drake May now 12 of 16, 143 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And it's Drake May's ability to move. He's trying to work the tight end, escape to the left. Little Patrick Mahomes out of Drake May to the end zone.
One of the best parts about college football, tailgating before the games. That is back. Just smelled like barbecue walking in. Some cornhole. Some of the storylines we're keeping an eye on 2022 season. ACC headlines. 5 teams in the preseason top 25. That is tied for the most in conference history, led by Clemson. Can DJ Uiagalelei live up to those expectations? Plenty of new head coaches. Perhaps Mario Cristobal, the headliner down there at the U. It's a quarterback conference. Quarterbacks in the NFL. Sam Howell off to the Commanders. Kenny Pickett, who many believe has had a good enough preseason to win that starting job in Pittsburgh.
I think he should be the starter week 1. The quarterback play in this conference has been outstanding, and I think that's one of the things that's exciting about tonight is that maybe seeing the first game of another one that we may talk about as, as a guy that could be an NFL talent.
You talk about week 1, notable ACC games. I'll be there at the Backyard Brawl, West Virginia at Pitt, the renewal of that rivalry for the first time in 11 years. Sunday, that's a fun one. Florida State, LSU. Timmy Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs, they'll be at Louisville, Syracuse. And then the Monday night Labor Day game. Clemson's the team I'm keeping an eye on just for the fact that we know the defense is going to be amazing. The offense for that team, if they're going to be back in the college football playoff, is that their biggest question mark?
Yeah, and then they've lost their offensive coordinator. You mentioned the defense. They've lost their defensive coordinator. Obviously, Brent Venables isn't there. And then, that Florida State LSU game, Matt, I think these games these out-of-conference games this year for these ACC teams are really important. Not that they aren't every year, but I just think with the talk about where the conference is, there's no doubt that those will mean a lot.
So just over 7.5 in the first half, and that's a nice run by Terrell Jennings. He's running hard tonight for the Rattlers, forced out of bounds after a gain of 21. Kamari Young, the key block to spring Jennings, and a nice gain for FAMU.
Yeah, and good burst, and then a good job of blocking down the field, by the receivers, and it's Young kind of springing him for another 10 yards.
Another big hole and a flag on the play there is the give to Jennings. Dante Balfour brings him down. We'll see if there was a reason there was a big hole there for Jennings.
Holding. Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Charles Davis. He was lower on the 2 deep, but again, we mentioned the issues with depth for FAMU. Brian Crawford started at guard, went out injured, and Davis is now in.
And I thought you actually said a big hold. And I thought, Matt, that's pretty good that you can see it in real time.
I mean, if that's what you thought I said, we'll go with
that
it.
Outside there, just grabbing a little too much outside. Miles Murphy, who's one of these players on this defensive line that certainly looks the part, and they feel like he's going to be a really nice player.
Musa, quick stop, quick throw. Gain of 10, that's Smith. That was one of the concerns, the safety concerns the teams had when the list came out of players that weren't eligible. At one point, they thought maybe 7 offensive linemen total were going to be able to make the trip. And we've already seen an injury tonight, so down on that depth there at the left guard position.
Yeah, we've seen the injury, and so now all of a sudden, you run out of bodies quickly. And look, that can be a concern with offensive line. Remember in the COVID season, there was minimum requirements for healthy offensive linemen, and but they do just without one starter entering into tonight, and I got another backup in.
And here's Musa. Again, quick throw. And again to Smith. One of the remarkable things about Xavier Smith, he was a walk-on when he got here. Now they talk about him as an all-conference player, an all-American. They want to get as much out of their most talented players they can, and we've certainly seen that here in the first half.
It's incredible to think that he was a walk-on. You think about his production, and plenty of NFL scouts that are in the building tonight. In my conversations pregame, definitely aware of who he is and what he's accomplished.
3rd and 6, pressure on Musa, gets the ball away, and a good job by Carolina's defense to close on A.J. Davis after a gain of 2. Power Eccles having a big night, brings him down.
And it looks like the offense is staying out on the field, and I like this decision by Willie Simmons here. Even if you're just trying to get the defense to jump.
So 4th and 3. Play clock under 10. And there's the jump that Florida A&M was looking for. And a complete pass. That was Vahasik who jumps. Raymond Vahasik, one of the leaders up front, did exactly what FAMU wanted him to do.
Offside. Defense number 51. The penalties decline. Resulting play is a first down.
There's Vahasik there, and these are the mistakes that I feel like we've seen this Tar Heel defense make in the past that Gene Chizik, by keeping things simple, wants to eliminate. I mean, a veteran player, guy who's played a lot of football and been a good player for the Tar Heels, in that environment where a hard count is going to be, part of the equation for FAMU to jump off sides, it's got to drive you crazy.
So they declined the penalty. Darian Oxendine had a big gain, so they'll keep the ball. Here comes the pressure. Down goes Musa. Power Eccles. Well, he's been all over the field in the first half.
He really has, and I think that's why they're excited about this linebacker group. It's Power Eccles, it's Cedric Gray, Rod Dilworth, we'll see, but Power Eccles has been the guy that's shown up a bunch so far tonight.
Loss of 12 on the play.
Let's go down to Kelsey.
Yeah, guys, you're talking about that linebacking core. They called him the heart of the defense. He said these guys are intentional. They love the game. They want to lead and be good. And they said if this defense and this ship is going to sail, it starts with those two in the middle.
Gene Chizik said he can call anything with the 8 guys up front. He believes he's got 8 players. Moose has got a wide open player, and it falls incomplete. Jamari A. Shareed, the intended receiver. Cedric Gray closed on it.
And speaking of the linebackers, that's Cedric Gray, kind of awareness. Well, look at the closing speed. Kind of, late getting out there, and then a good job of not panicking, reading the receivers, hands and eyes. It's good recovery by Cedric Gray.
I asked Gene Chizik, I said, if I told you to write down the one thing you wanted to get out of tonight's season opener, he said, respond well in chaos. And this tempo and this FAMU team, shorthanded's come out here and moved the ball pretty well, so it has been chaotic at times. 3rd and 22. Musa, good shot, picks up quite a bit of it. Oxendine, the receiver. Storm duck onto coverage, gain of 13.
Yeah, now I think even though it's 4th and long, 4th and 8, 4th and 9, kind of in no man's land. That's why they're going for it.
Tempo, Musa, caught. First down, Oxendine. What a drive he's had. What a throw and a first down, FAMU.
It's a great throw. They're essentially clearing out the inside and running an in cut. And that's an outstanding catch by Oxendine. We've seen him do that a few times tonight.
So here come the Rattlers moving the ball, under 3 in the first half. Musa checks it down to the back. Terrell Jennings has space, and Jennings takes it inside the 5.
It's a heck of a play by Jeremy Musa. He's working Oxendine on his left side on a corner route, gets off of it because he doesn't like the leverage, comes all the way across the field to find the back for the check down.
North Carolina, all 3 timeouts, tempo for the Rattlers, ball spotted at the 4. So Chris Collins on the tackle of Jennings.
Here's the corner route, and look at the eyes early on by Musa. He's trying to work this, doesn't like the relationship, comes off of it, gets to the back. That's a really good job and poise for a quarterback that doesn't have a ton of game experience at a new school on the road. He's been impressive.
12th play of the drive for Florida A&M. McLeod in the backfield. And that's McLeod. Sutter steps his way off the right side, pushes through, and FAMU back on the board. 2 4th down conversions, 1 via penalty, negated with the play. 5-yard touchdown, and Jalen McLeod in short-handed FAMU. Now an extra point away from a 1-score game.
We're talking about the power that some of the backs have for North Carolina. With Jalen McLeod at 230 pounds, just absolutely just kind of kept his legs moving, pushing into the end zone. And one thing I didn't think we'd see would be the power run game out of FAMU, but they get it there. And the finish by McLeod, keeping the Rattlers in it.
Prior to our game on ACC Network, Florida State took care of business as expected against Duquesne, 47-7. Of course, they're getting set for their Labor Day weekend monster mashup with LSU and their new head coach, Brian Kelly. So Florida State getting it done, year 3 of the Mike Norvell era. You just get the sense, those Florida schools, Florida State, Miami, waiting for the breakthrough. Mario Cristobal there with the Hurricanes. Of course, Billy Napier now, the head coach at the University of Florida. Yet to see a return in the kicking game. We're going to step aside for another break. 21-14 North Carolina. Drake May in a 2-minute drill coming up after this.
Well, Matt Bear, you said we're going to see Drake May in a 2-minute drill. What we've seen so far has been impressive. A 3rd and long run, I think, settled him down, got him seeing things better, hits Morales for the touchdown. Sees the corner blitz, spits the football out. And then we've seen him create offense. Does an excellent job of seeing Nesbitt, the tight end, and then moving to his left. Another touchdown pass. Drake May been impressive so far.
May over the middle to Nesbitt.
Pass is complete to number 18, Bryson Nesbitt.
Nesbitt scored a touchdown, had a nice completion early on. Tight end's been busy tonight. 3 catches, 37 yards in the touchdown, but 2-minute drill, 3 timeouts left for Phil Longo in the offense. And an opportunity here for May to add more. Again over the middle. And J.J. Jones on the reception, spreading the ball around, and a first down, gain of 11.
And this is an awesome opportunity for a young player to get the situational football as the clock stops with a player losing his helmet. Just operating this, communicating, from the sideline to your teammates, knowing when you've got to stop the clock. Great opportunity for Drake May.
That's Petaway on the reception, and Florida A&M, a great job reading that play out of the backfield. King and Major both made the tackle on a loss of 5.
North Carolina takes its first time out of the half.
So North Carolina going to take their first time out of the half. We were talking about it during the commercial break, Tim. When your first game of the season, you want to get out healthy, you want to get out with a win, and you want to get out with coachable moments. And I think the victory is still uncertain yet. We've got plenty of football left. It's a post-game 21-14. But you're getting some coaching moments in the first half with a very young team.
Yeah, and you always hear coaches talk about they try to create situations in practice. You mentioned earlier Gene Chizik. I want to see how my team responds, my defense responds, in the chaos of it. Mac Brown will talk about, how important the last 5 of the first half are and the first 5 of the second half. And so I think, as much as you try to harp on that and communicate that in a practice environment, there's nothing like this for a young player and a young offense working together.
So 2nd and 15 now. 2 timeouts remain for North Carolina. Delayed handoff to Petaway, another talented true freshman they like, and Petaway, a flag on the play. The Florida A&M sideline seems to think it's going to be on North Carolina.
Holding. Offense number 63. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It's Ed Montelis flagged for holding, so that play negated. And more yardage off for North Carolina.
Yeah, and here's Montelis, and there was definitely some help from the FAMU sideline. Sometimes just need to let him go.
So 2nd and 18. May brought down by Dre Jones. And North Carolina going to spend their second timeout. So we know we're making the debut and seeing the debut of Drake May. He follows Sam Howell, who owns just about every record here at North Carolina.
And he was such a good player. He's well liked by his teammates and really burst onto the scene right away. And I think one of the things that's been different for Drake May is Sam Howell came in right away and played. Drake May has been able to watch Sam Howell be coached by this coaching staff. And so it's different, and a great relationship between the guys. When Drake was named the starter, Sam gave him a phone call, congratulated on him, and basically said, okay, now's the opportunity, now go to work. And so far tonight, done a pretty good job of that, 15-19 and thrown 3 touchdowns. And as you see, Sam Howell last year only one time had a half where he threw 3 touchdown passes.
And look, it's not fair to sit here and draw any comparisons, but you can't tell the story of Mac Brown 2.0 and North Carolina without the fact that he got here and had a great true freshman quarterback in Sam Howell to get this thing going, and now Drake May, baton pass to him. Does a good job standing in the pocket to the sideline, overthrows Josh Downs on 3rd and 18, and now North Carolina is going to have to punt. Here comes Florida A&M, 53 seconds left, move the ball, 3 timeouts.
Listen, that was an ugly 2-minute drive for the Tar Heels. That is why it's important to have those. You don't want to have it look like that a week from now at App State. You don't want to have it look like that later in the season. And so, look, there's going to be teachable moments there for the Tar Heels and Drake May offensively of how to handle those situations when you get the ball back with 2 minutes.
So Kiernan to punt, Xavier Smith deep to receive. Fields it at the 15, hit immediately. That is good, clean special teams play there by Obi Egbuna, who brings him down. What about Florida A&M in their last possession?
Oh, listen, now they get a chance, and they were on fire last time we saw this offense out there. Jeremy Musa has been impressive. The receivers around him have been outstandingly impressive. Getting through his progression, finding the checkdowns. Jeremy Musa has been really impressive, and then a powerful finish, and with plenty of time still on the clock, timeouts at their disposal. I expect Willie Simmons to go after it here.
Kelsey.
Yeah, I got to talk to Jeremy Musa about this opportunity, and you guys talked a little bit about the journey he's had. He said, look, this isn't how I expected it to play out, but he does have some starts from junior college where he was phenomenal, guys. But he said getting this opportunity for the first time, he said he owes it to this staff a lot, the credit that he has for being here at this point now, Matt.
9 different receivers have caught a ball from Musa in an impressive first half. He's going to go right over the middle. Had a man open. That was Manigo.
Pass intended for David Manigo.
We do want to give you, I know those of you who have been waiting with bated breath on your couches, camera crews are back.
Boom.
You were going to see ISOs like that on Storm Duck. Our boy Kyle's going to get back to punching some cameras. It's going to be a hell of a broadcast here the rest of the way. So 41 seconds left. Florida A&M 3 timeouts. Musa again takes a shot. It's going to be picked off by Storm Duck. We ISO Duck. He comes up with the play. And Musa looks to be hurt. I'm sorry, not Musa. That offensive lineman looks as if he's down. But Duck, again, the interception.
Yeah, Storm Duck had jumped the underneath coverage a few times earlier in the game. The underneath route just sinks, and as they're trying to high-low, Storm Duck does a good job of sinking underneath that corner route, making a play on the football, creating a huge turnover, and giving Drake May another shot.
So we'll keep an eye on the injured player. Looks as if it's Cesar Reyes, another one of the offensive linemen. The depth up front for the Rattlers coming into this game wasn't great, and now their starting right tackle moved from left guard, where he was originally started, over to right tackles down. And this was Willie Simmons' biggest fear. So it's been a really remarkable first half for Florida A&M. Short-handed, Musa's had a great first half. North Carolina now going to get an opportunity with 31 seconds left and 1 timeout.
And ball on the 21-yard line. And
again, 25 players did not certify, which means eligible for tonight's game. 3 of them starters. So the depth was going to be an issue, and one of the biggest concerns when all of this came out, the offensive line depth.
And they had 7 or 8 coming into this game. There's a little bit of uncertainty about who was prepared to play. Obviously, you're talking about some freshmen, maybe some guys that hadn't gotten a ton of reps. That's the second offensive lineman out because Brian Crawford went out earlier. That's Cesar Reyes out now. And so now you're talking about with an offense that has been dealing, definitely down some offensive linemen.
So 31 seconds left for North Carolina. Bobbles the snap. May does a good job, gets it to Downs. Gets out of bounds. Clock will stop when some Frazier takes him out. Gain of 9.
You can see the arm strength that Drake May has because as he bobbles that snap, he's late on the throw, but still has enough power and juice to get it there in time before Downs out of bounds.
Again, the 1 timeout. 2nd down. May, forced from the pocket, points to the end zone, finds a receiver underneath. That's Downs again.
Pass number 11, Josh Downs.
First down, North Carolina. Isaiah Major on the tackle. Here's another late half opportunity for the quarterback.
Great opportunity. The clock has stopped for them to spot the football, but now first down, go ahead and get everybody ready to stop the clock.
And Drake's going to clock it to bring up second down. First 2-minute drive was not great. Another opportunity because of the forced turnover from the defense.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity there as well because he actually misses Nesbitt on a shallow cross coming in division to his left. Escapes outside the pocket, finds Downs. And so now everybody's all over the place. But because of the first down, the clock is going to stop. And so you have an opportunity to waste that down by spiking the football.
DJ Jones in the backfield in the process as well. It's Pettaway in the backfield. In the process, protect the timeout. And whistles before the snap.
Before the snap, FAMU takes its first time out of the half. The 30-second timeout.
Tim, still football left to be played here, but give me an assessment in this first half, what you've seen. We'll start with Willie Sims and his squad.
Listen, I've been really impressed, with the uncertainty about if they were traveling here. If there's any question if they were going to be intimidated or not bring their best. We've seen an awesome effort from them on both sides of the football. Offensively has been really impressive, especially by Jeremy Musa. In terms of the defense, we've seen great effort. I think when you look at North Carolina, we're obviously talking about a bunch of players that are new to getting playing time. Drake May has certainly had some really good moments. We've seen a bunch of the backs get opportunities, receivers and tight ends stepping up. I think if there'd be an area where you're wondering, okay, could they play better, that defensive side of the ball for the Tar Heels? But ultimately, now we've got a one-score game here, and it's been really competitive.
Empty backfield for May. Second down. Looks to the end zone, and he's going to want that one back because Josh Downs was wide open. However, his knee hit the ground. He'll be ruled down, 3rd and goal, and that's where North Carolina will take their final timeout.
Yeah, and Drake May knows it. Big player. He's running a little option route to Josh Downs. Defender Fagan in his face, and he just doesn't keep him up. And you have to navigate the defender that's unblocked, that's in your throwing lane. But you got to do everything you can to keep Downs up because honestly, you keep him up, it's a walk-in.
Again, coachable moments.
Coachable moments, and listen, as a quarterback, that's part of massaging, the situation is free runners. You're going to face free runners. Oftentimes, the quarterback's job is to take care of the guy that you can't account for in protection. And you account for that guy by beating him with the throw. And so, at Drake May's size, it's an advantage that he has to be able to see over guys, to be able to find throwing lanes, and he's able to find the lane, just not keep him up.
So we talk about for both teams, early season learning spot. Here for Drake, no timeouts, can't take the sack. Got to get rid of the ball, clock stop, either have an opportunity to score or get points going into the half.
Yeah, and so now the situation here. Probably you're only down, right? So 8 seconds, you can move somewhat. You have the field goal is the guarantee. So you've got the field goal guarantee. Really what you want to do is just throw on time so you have time to kick the field goal. If you do escape, know that the clock can come into play.
May right to the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. That was Josh Downs' 4th reception on that drive. That one for the touchdown. Good execution by UNC as they get a little bit of breathing room going into the half. Now up 27-14. That's May's 4th touchdown pass of the first half.
Pretty good start. Throw 4 touchdowns in your first half. Have some learning moments, and it's a nice job of Phil Longo, offensive coordinator, designing a play to get Josh Downs kind of behind some traffic to free him up, find your best player, get him open down in the red zone.
So 5 plays, 21 yards. It was all set up by the Storm Duck interception on a defense that needed something to go their way.
Complimentary football at its finest, Matt. A failed 2-minute drive. The defense comes up big, give you the possession, of the football, and then here's Josh Downs, run some traffic in here, and so versus man coverage, just outflank the defense as the defender has to run through that traffic, avoid it. That just gives Downs enough leverage to the sideline, and then good accurate throw by Drake May. As you said, touchdown number 4. And he knows, almost kind of hard on himself, like, hey, I should have thrown you one earlier on the little option route, but I got you back, number 11.
So a good first half for the redshirt freshman. Josh Downs said throughout camp, during the battle between Drake May and Jacoby Criswell, he's like, look, we've got 2 really good quarterbacks here that can throw the ball. I'm not worried who they throw out there. We're still going to have a really good offense. And Downs targeted 9 times tonight, 6 receptions, 41 yards, and the touchdown, which you'd expect out of a returning star receiver in a Biletnikoff watch list.
And you think about it, in this day and age of transfers, really good quarterback leaves the program. A receiver that's used to catching a lot of balls and playing with a really talented quarterback. The fact that Josh Downs stuck around looks like it's probably a pretty good decision, and you see why he was comfortable with the quarterbacks.
So we head to the end of the first half. Some conversation there between the players. So here are the debuts between Sam Howell and Drake May. That's a game body of work. Now that's also against an SEC opponent in South Carolina, 15-24, 245, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But certainly a good start for Drake May in his career.
I don't know why you're providing the context when
why
we can
would
just
I do
throw
that? Yeah.
up the stats, Matt. But listen, awesome start for Mac Howell, or Sam Howell. Drake May, certainly not disappointing.
Let's go to Kelsey and Mac Brown.
Coach, we got to see a little bit of everything from your quarterback in that first half, including 4 touchdowns. What you like the best about his performance?
His composure. He got the ball to the right place. He's very accurate. He's mad because he had a couple of throws that were off a little bit. But we protected him pretty well, but also like his mobility, he had the long run down the boundary. He's been able to escape some pressure, always having his eyes downfield and able to pick out some receivers. Hated our defense gave up a 4th and 4 and 4th and 10. You can't do that and win games. The score right before the half is so important, but we came back and answered, and we get the ball to start the third quarter. So we got to keep playing.
Speaking of that defense, what adjustments do you need to see them make?
Well, you start looking at, we didn't know what they were going to run. We've never seen this quarterback before. He's done a good job. They're really tight splits. They're not running a lot, but they're hitting a lot of quick passes. So we're going to have to pressure them more, and we're going to have to get closer to those receivers because we're giving them too many easy throws.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Kelsey, thank you. North Carolina up 28-14 at the half here in Chapel Hill. Let's get you to Jordan Cornette and Eric McClain for the halftime reports.
Who's gonna stop me now? Oh, what a night. I can't even lie. What a time to be alive. Drinks in the sky. That's the vibe. Oh, what a night.
It's a good night in my book anytime college football is back. Welcome back to Chapel Hill, season opener for both North Carolina, Florida A&M, 28-14. Tar Heels, some separation there at the end of the first half. Tim Hasselbeck, Matt Berry back in here with you in the booth. Give me your first half assessment of the Tar Heels and FAMU and what you saw.
Well, I thought this was a competitive matchup. I've been impressed with some young players that we've seen out, from the Carolina side, and then the effort from Florida A&M. I mean, their quarterback, Jeremy Musa, has played well, and if not for a late turnover, this could be a closer game.
We know coming in, Drake May was the storyline, first start at Carolina. What'd you make out of him?
Listen, I thought there were some early jitters, but this run right here really settled him down, Matt. And then I thought from that point, he saw the field extremely well. Hits Morales for the touchdown, sees the corner blitz, finds Blackwell, and then it was a good job finding his other tight end, Nesbitt, and then the ability to create, which I think has maybe been a little bit surprising, but he's done an excellent job with it. And it's a pretty good first half, of his first start for Drake May. nearly 20 completions, had a big run, and 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. I can't imagine he could have dreamt it much better than that.
You'd mentioned the run that jump-started it. Prior to that, hadn't really done anything impressive, so to speak. In fact, they were in danger of doing another 3 and out. Skipped the ball to Josh Downs. It was 3rd and 9, and the 42-yard run kind of got the momentum going for Drake May in the North Carolina offense. So FAMU won the toss they received in the first half. North Carolina is going to get the ball here to start the second half, and they're going to get good field position because that ball is going to go out of bounds. They'll get the ball at the 35. Let's go down to Kelsey Riggs with FAMU's head coach.
Coach Simmons, you wanted your guys to come out here and compete. We saw that in the first half. What was your message in the locker room?
Well, we told them we felt we could play with these guys, and I think we showed everybody for 30 minutes that we can. So we got 30 more minutes to continue to fight, and we tackle on defense, and we don't turn the ball over that last drive on offense. It's a much closer ball game, but I think these guys got a little more fight left in them.
One of your biggest concerns coming into this game, missing 20-plus players, was the health and safety. You're now down 2 of your offensive linemen. We just heard are ruled out for the rest of the game, as well as a wide receiver. How do you handle that?
Well, the next man up, these guys want to come up and compete, and that's what we're doing. And, hopefully we can get those guys back. But, that was one of the concerns coming up, that we were a little short on offensive linemen, losing 2. So that throws some young guys into action that they got to grow up real fast.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelsey, Coach Simmons, thank you. We'll update you on that side of the ball when FAMU gets it. First things first, Drake May in the offense. DJ Jones in the backfield after a gain of 6 to bring up 2nd and 4. And a quick toss there to Copenhaver. Saw him early on. And kind of one of the staples of the Phil Longo offense: run, short route, move the chains.
Yeah, it's a zone blocking scheme where the tight end comes across the formation and kicks out, and then you slip him into the flat. Nice, easy completion, and more of the tight end in this offense, which has been a bit of a surprise.
Ball back in Rattlers territory. There's Josh Downs with a slip screen. He does a good job to get a gain of 6 on first down. Timothy Williams on the tackle.
That's another one of those things you see out of this offense, that fake bubble screen, and then you kind of come back in towards the offensive line and run a tunnel screen. And I've seen Josh Downs break a couple of those and take them to the house.
May the fake, has wide open Copenhaver. Copenhaver lowers his shoulder. And I tell you what, if I've garnered one thing out of the first 2 quarters and early on here in the third, tight ends are going to be a big part of this offense this year for UNC.
I mean, a huge part of it, and we've seen 3 of them now, just make big plays, and Phil Longo doing a good job of designing stuff to get them wide open.
And go back down to the ground game. Dre Jones on the tackle. DJ Jones got the start. He's been banged up early in his career. Coaching staff said he had a really good camp. He's reliable, and he earned the start tonight. Oh, and we've seen all the backs play. It's been a busy night in the backfield.
And I think DJ Jones got the start because he kind of knows everything. He's good in pass protection. He's secure with the football. I do believe that there's probably more upside with some of the younger backs, and I think that's why we're seeing them.
May, can he make it 5? Takes it to the corner. Keeps it himself. Helicopter. And they're talking about it. They are discussing this, and they're going to mark it down at the 1. Nadarius Fagan is who sent Drake May airborne. Let's have another look. I don't know that that's not a touchdown.
Listen, live I thought it was a touchdown. He's in bounds when he leaves the ground, and
Max calling a timeout. He's running down to the line judge to get a timeout. He's going to get it. They're going to take another look at this, and I would be stunned if this wasn't ruled a touchdown. And Max heated up. The coaching moment here for us, for Mac and Longo. Again, that's another. He didn't dive. We saw that earlier in the earlier run. He's throwing his body out there. Tim, what do you think? I think it's going to be called a touchdown.
I think it's a touchdown. I'm not positive why. I think Mack is wondering why it wasn't stopped to be looked at, but he leaves the ground in the field of play.
I need your official vote, touchdown or not.
It's good, Matt. It's
right.
good.
We'll let you know other side of the break. So 3rd and goal, call stands. Drake May down at the 1-yard line. Omarion Hampton, the true freshman, he's going to clean it up and a touchdown Carolina. The first of Omarion Hampton's young career. North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year gets in. Now 34-14 UNC.
It's a good downhill run by Hampton. You see the power down in the goal line, and I think that, with how North Carolina had thrown the ball down inside the 5, the fear of them throwing it also spread that defense out.
So a touchdown right before the half. First possession, North Carolina started with the ball. They take it right down, 5 plays, or 7 plays, 65 yards, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. So Tim, we were talking about whether or not the goal line extends. The goal line in college football does not extend.
So the goal line in college football does not extend, and so Drake May leaves the ground inbound, so he's in bounds. I think because that ball was in his right arm as he spins, I kind of thought that it was still in the field of play before, when he crossed the goal line and then goes out of bounds. But Omarion Hampton saying, let me in on the action. Drake's thrown 4 of them.
He has enough.
Okay, you've had enough of that. Give me the football.
Yeah, good. 4 touchdowns. I'm the true freshman. Let me score. Drake May's smiling. He's having fun. But there's 2 instances where I'm betting Phil Longo and Mack Brown are going to light him up in film. It is for the same reason Sam Howell got this early on. I know you can't take the player out of the player, but it's early.
It's early. There are scenarios where you say, hey, listen, whatever it takes to get the first down, whatever it takes to get in the end zone, there is no question that there are elements of protecting yourself. In saying that, Matt, after a season, and people knew what type of player Sam Howell was, okay, then you can start sliding. As you're a young player trying to prove yourself, get the respect of your teammates, I don't mind it at all.
And you do bring up a good point, because in your first start, you've got to show you can do anything you want in practice. But when the lights are on and the game's being played, you've got to earn the trust of everyone that's out there with you.
When number 10 drops back, there are a lot of guys laying it on the line to protect him. There are a lot of guys that are selling out in pass protection. Tight ends, running backs, offensive linemen, receivers blocking for guys down the field. And so I do think there is an element of it. Now, let me say this. I think he's done it. He proved that he's capable and willing to do it. Now you say, okay, you showed it to them. They got it. From now on, let's get down.
Yeah, let's slide. So you heard Kelsey talk with Willie Simmons, head coach FAMU, coming out of the break. 2 offensive linemen and an already depleted offensive line. They bumped up some freshmen that weren't going to play. They traveled with 10, but now they've only got 8 because Cesar Reyes, 77, he's out for the game with injury. He started tonight, moved from left guard, and Brian Crawford, who started at left guard, he is also injured. So depth now up front as Charles Davis moved to right tackle, 62. It's going to be something now, Tim, the rest of the way to watch.
And it's why it's more imperative for the ball to come out quickly for Jeremy Musa.
What a great start for Jeremy Musa and FAMU early in this game. A big week for them next week at Jackson State.
And I think that was part of the other part Willie Simmons was concerned about, is that game means a lot to Florida A&M.
So 3rd and 4. Musa, quick shot. Found a receiver open. That's Xavier Smith. And this defense continues to give up chunk yardage. Cameron Kelly brings him down. Gain of 23, first down Rattlers.
And it's just double slant, read it inside out. Ball between the 1 and the 9, really good throw. Allows Smith to run after the catch.
Here comes the tempo. Here comes Musa again. Has to throw it out to the backfield. Terrell Jennings on the reception. Power Eccles brings him down after 3.
And I will say, Matt, and I mentioned it at the top, their speed at receiver for Florida A&M is outstanding. This is a real legit challenge for the Tar Heel secondary, and so far it feels like Florida A&M's winning it.
There's a good play. No, gets out of it. That was Moose on the carry. The defense, I got fooled by the ball fake. Cedric Gray brings him down.
And Matt, you've said it a few times, it's the keep, reading the defensive end. Noah Taylor squeezes down. Musa keeps it. And he's made good decisions in the passing game, but also good decisions in the run game throughout the night.
I mean, he just looks like he's playing street ball out there right now. He's dropping back, throwing to the pylon, gain of 11. Xavier Smith continues to have a nice night.
And that's a good job of keeping his feet in bounds by Xavier Smith. That's the play they ran earlier, fake wide receiver screen. He hit the tight end Kamari Young the last time they ran it. Excellent job of getting through the progression, and Musa shooting it outside to the sideline.
7 receptions, 67 yards for Smith. And the Gene Chizik era here for North Carolina, his first game back as defensive coordinator under Mac Brown. Having to respond well to this chaos here in the second half. End around, speed. Kareem Burke, the freshman, brought down immediately by DeAndre Boykins after a short gain of 3.
And this is a really nice play by Boykins because their speed to the perimeter there. You talk about running the alley. DeAndre Boykins does an excellent job there of running the alley, getting to the ball carrier.
So 2nd and 7, first possession of the second half for FAMU. They give up the middle, keeps the legs moving. Noah Taylor, Cedric Gray combined on the tackle, gain of 3 to bring up 3rd and medium, 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and these 3rd and manageables help protect that depleted offensive line because the ball can come out quickly. I mean, it can be catch and throw on a 3rd and 4. And so I would expect Willie Simmons to dial something up where Musa isn't stuck holding on to the football. But I also, after hearing Mac Brown talk going into half, would also expect this Carolina defense to challenge and come after him.
Here comes the blitz off the left side. Musa gets it away, complete. Not going to be enough for a first down. That was Smith, and Boykins right there on the tackle. Good job by the North Carolina defense to provide pressure, and Musa had to get rid of it.
Yeah, and I think they did come after him. They had a bunch of pass rushers on the field, and again, it's Boykin driving on either a shallow cross or a ball carrier trying to get in the perimeter. 2 big plays by DeAndre Boykin, which really end up preventing this Rattler offense from scoring and settling for a field goal attempt.
Jose Romo Martinez on, 35-yard attempt to give FAMU more points. Ball just off the right hash. Snap clean, hold clean, kick right down the middle. 35 yards is good. And the Rattlers still hanging around. 35-17. Willie Simmons said we can play with these guys, and they continue in the 3rd quarter. Tim, you know what I love about tonight? It's merely the appetizer for ACC football this season. It's week 0. So much more coming on ACC Network next week. Thursday night, Wake Forest hosting VMI. Friday night, Temple and Duke. Saturday's game, we start with a nooner, Rutgers and Boston College, Bethune-Cookman in Miami. And ACC primetime football, Louisville and Syracuse, 8 p.m. Eastern. I think week 0, what is that? What's it, a amuse-bouche? Is that like an appetizer before an appetizer? You're a fluffy guy.
Hey,
you would
listen,
know.
I'll take any of it, man. You kidding me? Week 0 football?
You know what's the best part about week 0 football is we had the 8:15 kick, so we had to hang out in the hotel room all day waiting for our week 0 turn.
I mean, I prepped for the game. I saw you running around campus, though. I mean, just...
No, you saw me running. That's all you did. You saw me running.
Was it running? I think it was a soft J on the jog, I think.
Was burning off last night's Asian fusion. That's going to be Omarion Hampton. We finally see a kick return. Hampton gets it outside across the 25. just inside the 30 as we go down to Kelsey.
Well, guys, after that last touchdown, I watched Drake May as he came on the sidelines. All smiles, obviously very happy about that way the drive ended. But then I waited to see what happened when he sat down next to their offensive coordinator and kind of took it in for a second. He looked at him and he kind of looked at Drake and he said, hey, I see you making plays and I love it. Stay disciplined. So that was the message that he gave Drake May after that touchdown. Also, Drake made sure to give that touchdown ball to Omarion. That was his first one, so they're hanging on to that one.
Kelsey, stay with us for a second. So we're reading the stay disciplined, meaning probably slide.
Yeah, Matt, I think he just wants them to make good decisions. He says he's making the plays. Let's maybe not do that. What did we call it, a helicopter on the way in?
Yeah, we did. It was definitely a helicopter. He definitely did not get in. But if you look at Drake May so far throwing the ball, a little bit of success in every part of the field there, Tim.
I love the fact that it's been spread around. We've mentioned that it's been spread around to a bunch of different players, and I love the fact that you're attacking all areas of the field because it makes you hard to defend.
Caleb Hood at 9 yards on first down. Looks as if he's going to have enough to get the first down. And Isaiah Major on the tackle.
The other thing about that, Matt, is a lot of times a young quarterback becomes dependent on somebody that he feels like he needs to get the ball to. And so clearly Josh Downs is the most established player on this offense. So the fact that, he doesn't feel like he's got to force it to him and can go where the coverage is dictating, that's a really positive sign for the Carolina offense.
Abu Bangura, he's injured, number 95. The defensive line got hit with some of the ineligibility issues. They'll check on Bangura. We'll step aside and be back. We started at the bottom, now we're here. 35-17 North Carolina, third quarter. Matt Berry, Tim Hasselbeck. Kelsey Riggs with you, ACC Primetime Football. Drake May, ball spotted just before the 39-yard line. May, delayed handoff. That's another talented true freshman, Petaway. He's been unable to get loose tonight, but I tell you what, they like both of these kids. Petaway, a 4-star, ESPN's number 8 running back.
And you can tell he's got some wiggle and some shake to him. He kind of stumbled, getting through that hole there, but in the open field is where they want him, and he looks like an exciting player.
We've seen Hood, we've seen Petaway. DJ got the start. Omarion Hampton scored a touchdown. So plenty of work out of the backfield. We've got a flag before the ball snapped.
False start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So we saw that Gaynor gets flagged. He got hit for a holding earlier in the game, but at least early on, penalties-wise, we saw the one out of a Hasek early. Motion penalties, that's just a lack of discipline. Mental.
Listen, pre-snap penalties drive you crazy, and relatively speaking, been a pretty clean performance out of both teams for a week 0 matchup.
Quick throw out of the backfield. That's Downs again, continues to get the load of the targets. That's his 11th target on the night. There's Gaynor, we featured him, the transfer from Miami.
Listen, go look for work, big fella. No one there, go look for some work. I like it.
We were walking the field pregame and just kind of watching him warm up, and he kind of gave me a football look, and I wanted to run to the press box. Early movement out of FAMU. They're going to get that yardage back. It looked like Justin Cook's gentle hunt probably both moves.
Offside, defense number 92. It's a 5-yard penalty, third down.
With this defense, talking to their defensive coordinator, Brandon Sharp, we talked about the challenge that this game was going to present, and he told us, quote, he says, if you want a piece of cake, you may as well get a big one. And he got some cake tonight.
He sure did.
But a good effort out of FAMU, short-handed May over the middle, caught, knee was down. There was Gavin Blackwell with the reception. Kendall Bowler brought him down. Now, to be fair, Kelsey on the crew, she's the one with the southern accent. She could probably deliver the quote much more effectively than I.
I thought you nailed that southern fake accent there. Yeah, he might have said it a little bit more like, if you want a piece of cake, you might as well get a big one. It's right up my alley, you guys. I turn the accent off when I do TV.
May pressured by Nadarius Fagan. The ball falls incomplete. There he is. There's the guy that Kelsey just made sound like Forrest Gump.
There you go. And he's excited about the pressure, and looks like he's worked off the. He's worked off.
No, he's
the
got a
cake.
sweet tooth. Look at that. He's got a sweet tooth. Like, brush your teeth. So Fagan, a transfer from Syracuse. We had talked about the number of guys on this FAMU roster, ACC experience, which is why Willie thought they can come in here and compete. They've been in this stadium before. They've played this team before. Probably the moment was probably not going to be too big for them, and it hasn't been.
No, not intimidated by the moment. Not, no doubt in terms of, hey, can we compete? And, Ryan Smith's group on the defensive side, yeah, Drake May's had a bunch of success, but with a couple of secondary busts. But other than that, I feel like we've seen great effort by that defense.
That was DJ Jones on the carry and a gain of 2. It's going to bring up 4th down for North Carolina.
And to me, it seemed like Mac Brown probably told Phil Longo 2-down territory, which is why you had that run, on 3rd and roughly 6.
Going to give you a split screen here with Ryan Smith. Watch him coach up his defense as North Carolina now 4th and 3, converted earlier in the game. Ball spotted at FAMU's 40. May, quick throw out. Defender able to get to him. King knocks down DJ Jones. DJ kind of lost his feet, but a good start and a good stop for FAMU.
Grab a piece of cake, Matt. I mean, let's go. I mean, gets the stop on defense, and ultimately, not a super accurate throw by Drake May. The back can't keep his feet, and big turnover on downs, and isn't it 35-17? I think FAMU's got to still feel like they've got some life left.
273 yards total offense for FAMU. They have moved the ball quite a bit. First down, 16 of them. So this certainly isn't a situation, Tim, where they can't get back in this game with a quick strike, especially with a player like Xavier Smith lined up. So Rattlers take over at the 40. That's a give to A.J. Davis, the Pitt transfer. He gets a nice gain on first down and a gain of 6. Raymond Bahasic brings him down.
Well, you mentioned Pitt transfer, another player with ACC experience, and A.J. Davis, who's really listed as the 3rd back on their depth chart, has had a pretty good night so far.
Terrell Jennings, the starter. Jalen McLeod has been in there. Kind of the story for both teams. Multiple running backs playing for either. Musa, 219 yards in his first start. Great play by the defensive line. DeAndre Boykins came in out of the secondary on a blitz and a loss of 4.
Yeah, and it's DeAndre Boykins again, and here he comes off the side right here, and ultimately I think that Mac Brown decided, look, we're not going to sit around, be as passive as we've been, playing with off coverage, not blitzing. Been a change of philosophy this second half, and Boykins has gotten the message and made a bunch of plays.
So let's see if this Carolina defense, who's brought in fresh legs, fresh personnel for an offensive lineman that's down on depth. 3rd and 8. Musa, pressure coming, avoids it. Good throw over the middle, and that was an absolute strike to Trevonte Davis. That's a big-time throw, Tim Hasselbeck.
It was a huge throw because he had to hold on to the football a little bit. They did do a good job of picking up the pressure. Good subtle movement in the pocket. And then on top of it, after the completion, you get roughing the passer as Musa is hit up high.
They're going to flag that every time, whether you agree with it or not. They're going to flag it.
That's a penalty in today's football. Ra-Ra Dilworth with, hit to the head and neck area, forcible contact to Musa once that ball was released. And once again, Jeremy Musa making great decisions from inside the pocket.
So here comes FAMU 35-17, approaching 2 minutes in the third, looking to add more points. They give up the middle to Davis. Nothing doing. Brought down by Fahasic and Gray. And I know Drake May's getting all the attention, but you can't tell me that Musa has not been as impressive as a quarterback tonight.
He absolutely has been, and we've talked about the offensive line. He's played under pressure. He's made outstanding decisions, and for a player, that has bounced around between Vanderbilt and Hawaii and junior college, he looks like a player that is used to being in moments like this, which hasn't been the case.
FAMU kind of lost in their communication. Their play clock was winding down.
Timeout, FAMU. It's the first timeout of the half.
So they'll take their first timeout. And Musa, 6'3", 225, you'd mentioned he'd been around, finally getting an opportunity to call a place home, Kelsey.
Yeah, and that's what he told me, Matt and Tim, when I talked to him. He said, look, when I get this opportunity to start on this stage, I'm not going to do anything I wouldn't normally do, no different than the game that I've played all my life. But he told me his goal has always just been to get on the field, to play, to be given a fair chance to do so. That he said that's what he's been searching for since his freshman year. He's definitely had command of this game, and I saw him talking to his offensive linemen in the huddle before this drive, just speaking to them individually, saying, hey, we still have a chance, taking them through what he saw on the field, and then he walked away and said, guys, we still got this.
And again, this is from a guy who beat out the starter from a year ago, Rashawn McKay, who started 10 games, had over close to 2,500 yards throwing. I mean, he was a good player, but Musa's stepped up.
And he's done everything tonight, Matt. He's done an excellent job making decisions in the run game. He's been an effective runner. He's played extremely well from inside the pocket. He's had one mistake tonight, and it was the interception before half. But other than that, I've come away really impressed with his performance.
Spread the ball around. 9 different players have touched the ball. Moves into the end zone, and how about this? Trevante Davis, touchdown Rattler, 22 yards. We still have a ball game in Chapel Hill.
And Musa, once again, pressure in his face, throwing off his back foot as Power Eccles is right up on, ready to hit him. Just an excellent job of throwing the ball with anticipation and layering it enough to let the receiver go run underneath it. Man, what a play by Jeremy Musa.
I'm telling you what, in a game where the highly touted redshirt freshman gets all the attention, a flag on the play on the extra point. This audience watching a Florida A&M team that went 9-3 last year.
False start. 66 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
7-1 in the SWAC. They made national headlines for the eligibility issues yesterday, and all Jeremy Moose has done is come in here to Kenan Stadium and kept his Rattlers in this 35-23, 24 barring the extra point, 262 yards and 2 touchdowns. And by the way, the passes have been on point.
His accuracy has been remarkable. His anticipation is remarkable as well. Basically, you're having layered corner routes out here. And I just want you to see the pressure that he ends up, having in his face. That ball is thrown so early, and with the receiver releasing inside, it's hard to gauge the angle. And so there's trust that needs to be kind of associated with that. And Trevante Davis, hasn't broken to the corner yet. And ultimately what happens is you give ground, trust that the receiver's going to be where he's supposed to be. And that's a perfectly thrown ball. And I also, Matt, we talk about his path, Jeremy Musa's path.
Yeah.
It's not like he came into Florida A&M and they said, all right, we're getting you ready to be the starter. Here are all the reps. He was competing for the job, which means he's not getting all the reps. And, because of some missed time from Rashawn McKay, he gets an opportunity to get the majority of the work, and they decide to give him the nod, and he has been outstanding.
He's got a little Marcus Mariota in it. The size, the ability, the look.
Look, 6'3", 225, his arm is plenty live, and I'm impressed with just the poise and composure and accuracy.
And what did Willie Simmons say about this opportunity for his team? He called it a get-money game. You and I saw how many NFL scouts prior to the game. Not saying this does anything in terms of as Hampton returns into the 25-yard line, but this is how you stand out in front of eyes you may not thought you were going to stand out in front of.
Let me tell you something, man. I don't. Listen, he's got a big game next week, Deion Sanders has been telling everybody, come check out, my players at Jackson State and these other schools, they can play in the NFL. Come check these guys out. So the reality is, Matt, you continue to have a stage. And what you put on film is your resume as a player. Guys will get a chance to do that next week. And it'd be impossible to watch this and not be really impressed by Jeremy Musa.
It's been a celebration here on campus for HBCU football. North Carolina band out here, the Marching 100. If you didn't see them at halftime, they were absolutely phenomenal. Here's Omari and Hampton. Tell you what, they're hitting on defense as well. But you'd mentioned that game next week, Jackson State, Florida A&M, ESPN 2, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's another national spotlight for HBCUs, and you can't underestimate what Deion's done for schools like Florida A&M, and that's good football.
Florida A&M, certainly
Jackson
done it at
State.
Jackson State, and I think just in general the attention on the game, no question about it. And listen, if we see an effort like we're seeing now, you're going to be watching good football.
That's Hampton again, missed tackle by Nadarius Fagan, gain of 11. Clock winding down here in the third quarter. So Hampton out. The true freshman's had a nice debut. Caleb Hood back in. Hampton leads the Tar Heels with 64 yards and a touchdown, 11 carries. Also has the lion's share of the carries as well. So this likely the last play of the third quarter. May's going to take a shot downfield. No flag, incidental contact is what they'll call it, intended for Gavin Blackwell. Covered by Winsome Frazier.
I thought there was a chance they were just going to take it to the quarter. Instead, they wanted to take a shot, and you definitely got a bit of a grab, by Frazier. At the same time, May can lead him across the field.
Perhaps a little bit surprising right now. North Carolina up 35-24. FAMU not going away. Neither are we. Fourth quarter coming up next on the ACC Network. Start of the fourth quarter here on ACC Network. 35-24. Florida A&M staying in this. Drake May making his debut at starting quarterback for the Tar Heels. 2nd and 10. May over the middle, incomplete, intended for Nesbitt. Good coverage by Kamani King.
Now you got a 3rd and 10 with a lot of life, and kind of spirit still for Florida A&M, and kind of a unique situation here for North Carolina. Turnover on downs previous series, and now a 3rd and long. Really critical for them to convert.
And May does just that. Good patience. Finds Nesbitt, gain of 15.
And clearly, it's just a high-low on the corner route with a wide route from the back. It's interesting, critical moment. Who did they go to? A tight end, and Bryson Nesbitt.
Leads the Tar Heels with 53 yards, had the touchdown earlier. That's Petaway trying to get to the outside. There's the speed from Petaway. Another one of the highly touted young running backs. Kendall Bowler brings him down, gain of 12.
And I tell you, the speed to the perimeter by Petaway, it's exciting. He was kind of kind of has the build and speed of a 3rd down back, but out of the backfield there on a 1st down, that was impressive.
5'10", 195, Suffolk, Virginia. Omari and Hampton, the other true freshman. May has to get out of the pocket. And again, at least that one, he looked like he was attempting to go down.
I'm
Fagan
okay
and
with
Stevens
that.
made him pay, gain of 6.
I'm okay with that one, Matt. Climb in the pocket.
There you go.
Get some positive yards. And it's an 11-point game right now. And so, this isn't necessarily time to say, hey, I'm saving this for something else.
Look at that cut by Petaway. The true freshman. Touchdown, Carolina. 29 yards of quicks And we've seen Hampton get in. We've seen Petaway make 3 guys miss. And the Tar Heels have extended their lead.
Look at him put his foot in the ground, and it's just the absolute stick. And you could see it on earlier runs where you thought, man, he has this quickness in the open field, and it's about to go. Just needed a couple of more opportunities to get into the open field. Phil Longo's like, hey, yeah, keep doing that.
I love that you said that, because you can tell watching certain players that even though the play maybe garners 2 to 3 yards, you can see what's there. And there we saw a perfect collision of what's there and what he's capable of doing. Tim, take us away. George Petaway, these true freshman running backs are something else.
They certainly are. Had to wait his turn to get into the backfield, but once he got into the open field, it was all Petaway into the end zone.
Phil Longo, offensive coordinator, will tell you that the part of his offense you need to do is distribute the football. To that end, 6 different North Carolina players have scored a touchdown tonight. They've been distributing the ball well, 9 possessions, 6 touchdowns for Drake May in his debut as the quarterback for Phil Longo's offense and North Carolina Tar Heels as they've extended their lead 42-24. So Kim's going to kick that one into the end zone. So much more ACC football coming your way next here on ACC Network Thursday night. Wake Forest, VMI, 7:30 Eastern. Friday night, Temple and Duke. Elko's debut as the head coach at Duke. Rutgers and Boston College. Coming up Saturday, noon Eastern, Bethune-Cookman. And we see Mario Cristobal's debut as Miami's head coach in an ACC primetime football. Louisville and Syracuse, a conference game in a big year for Dino Babers in Louisville. Kind of a trendy pick to click in the ACC. Satterfield's got Malik Cunningham back. They got some portal guys.
That's the issue to me. Cunningham is hard to defend. He's a better passer than I think people realize. Tremendous runner, and then the portal effect, so many transfers. What does it do to that defense?
That's McLeod up the middle. First few weeks, I think all of us that do games or when I'm in studio, the portal effect that we're going to see week in and week out across the country is going to be incredible. Because, I mean, we're seeing it tonight. Jeremy Musa, Vanderbilt quarterback, now here at Florida A&M. I mean, the portal is going to change college football. It already has, but it's an immediate impact with players that you can put on the field. I mean, look at Helinski today. Northwestern, he transferred in from South Carolina, won the job, balls out, North Carolina. Can they force the turnover? And UNC has it, second of the night for them. That was DeAndre Boykin with the fumble recovery. Storm Duck had an interception earlier, and that's exactly what Gene Chizik needed to dial up for this defense.
And you know something, as you're looking at this defense and you're looking for somebody to step up and make a play, be a difference maker, it's a good job of kind of getting your shoulder on the football by Power Eccles. We've talked about him throughout the night. And then it's DeAndre Boykins. Those 2 guys have popped up and they've shown. And so I think that as you're looking for people to make an impact on defense, there are two that have flashed tonight.
So ball at the 27. May looking to get a quick shot. He does. Josh Downs, touchdown. Make it 5 touchdowns for Drake May. And a quick strike after the turnover. You saw Downs come up limping a little bit. That's exactly what you want to see out of your offense. Defense make the play, offense pick you up. Now, extra point shy of 49-24.
And Matt, if you think about it, that's basically what's happened. Scoring off of the turnover, so critical. Have complimentary football before the half, and then you get the fumble recovery, 1 play shot down the field to Josh Downs for the score.
260 yards and another touchdown for Drake May.
You know, Drake May going to start counting them on two hands, but just one hand now as he hits Josh Downs. Good job of protecting him. Able to protect him, secure the catch. North Carolina rolling.
So what does the leader of the offensive line do to his young quarterback? Gives him a hug and says, "Kid, hell of a game." 287 yards and 5 touchdowns.
No matter how good somebody is in practice, it's different when you see him do it in the game as a teammate. The respect that you can kind of gain from that, and I don't think there's any doubt that Corey Gaynor's been a leader, you know, for this team, and I think there's should be a lot of excitement about how Drake May has played tonight.
He's the first North Carolina quarterback to throw 5 touchdowns in his first start. Also the first North Carolina quarterback to throw 5 touchdowns in a season opener.
So here's Josh Downs. He's going to run to the post. Now you have to be wary of this backside safety that is going to run in and try to fall in to make the play. And so you need to do a good job of not leading him too far across the field. That's a really good job by Drake May of not leading him across the middle of the field, and then an excellent job of Josh Downs, you know, securing the catch. And then just look at these numbers.
So look, I don't want to go broadcast hyperbole here. We're not building a statue for this kid.
You're talking about Hot Take Barry?
No. You actually earlier you gave 2 hot takes I was going to bring up, but it had moved on. I was going to ask if you were like auditioning for Get Up or something. But you know the game. You played the position. What have you seen out of him tonight with ball placement, specifically something like that on downs?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the accuracy. I thought, and in fairness, it was raining pretty hard early in the game. He was a little nervous at the very beginning, and that run, I think, settled him into the game. And then from that point, I think he has seen things perfectly. I think he's placed the ball, perfectly. Now, he hasn't faced a ton of adversity, but I think ultimately, in terms of what you've seen from the physical ability, I've been really impressed.
Kind of miscommunication there for the first time tonight with Musa. His pass falls incomplete. Talked to people around here in Chapel Hill of how close it was between Drake May and Jacoby Criswell. As you see, Downs there, he got banged up on that touchdown. And
let me say this, I'm going to jump you on this.
What do you
He's
got?
been awesome. Get him out.
Yeah, done. You're going to Boone next week. But the competition, according to everyone here in Chapel Hill, came down to the end. And you'd said it perfectly now. 3rd down for FAMU. Pass complete. That's going to be a first down. He's lucky he came up with that tackle on Xavier Smith, because if Balfour doesn't do it, Smith has space. But when you've got a young team led by a young quarterback, you just don't know what's going to happen when you put him under the lights, national TV, in a game situation.
No, you don't, and he's responded well to it. Now, I've said that there hasn't been much adversity. Let's remember, Sam Howell at one point was pulled out of the game, because he was struggling. I think maybe it was a Wake Forest game. He was struggling, and so I think that, we're saying, hey, let's protect Drake May and get him out of the game, but let's also get Criswell in there.
Offense number 61, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Jalen Goss, transfer from Florida State. We mentioned a lot of the transfer portal players, especially at FAMU there in Tallahassee, right across the street practically. But there's Gaynor talking to his young quarterback. I really do love the story of Corey Gaynor. We had touched on it earlier in the broadcast. Coming in from Miami, came in, and the coaches said it perfectly. He didn't come in guns blazing, yelling and screaming with no purpose. Settled in, worked, and let the work do the talking for him.
Yeah, and it was clear that he's viewed as a leader by the offensive guys and the defensive guys. And to do that in such a short period of time is impressive.
Snap infraction. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That offensive line, one of the big issues a year ago, they bring in Jack McNeil Jr., who Phil Longo said has been a game changer for this offensive line and his old school approach to just get these guys to get back to playing football up front, which is a problem for them last year.
And Jack Bicknell Jr., they crossed paths at Ole Miss, and he's got a lot of experience coaching the guys up front, and it looks like it's paying immediate dividends.
Oh, what a play. They're going to rule it incomplete, but Musa extended that, threw it across his body, somehow found a crease between the defenders. It's all for naught, Jeremiah Pruitt.
They just ran out of space, and good job of Musa escaping outside the pocket. And
so
the North Carolina, front. Now, granted, we've mentioned the depleted offensive line, but it does seem like the pass rush has started to come alive a little bit, and I think that has helped the secondary here in the second half.
331 total yards for Florida A&M. North Carolina posting 478. Does that ball pop out? It looks as if they are going to rule Musa up, ball out. Travis Shaw, 5-star nose tackle out of Greensboro, North Carolina, is going to come up with it, and another turnover for the Chiswick
on the field is that the runner was down before the ball became loose. It'll be third down.
You didn't hear a whistle. It looked as if his knee hit.
Yeah, right there. He's got possession of the ball. The elbow's down, and look, it's going to still be FAMU's ball, but I just said it seems like these pass rushers now, have come alive, and part of it is just wearing down the front of Florida A&M, but the other thing is get these known passing situations. I do think this is the strength of this defense is they have talent on this defensive line. You get a package here with good pass rushers. Kamon Rucker being one of them down at the bottom of the screen.
Chiswick thinks he's got 8 guys up front that he can call anything with. It's going to be a 4th down and out for FAMU. One player that keeps coming up, Javari Ritzie, he's on their second team. He rotates in a lot, but he doesn't start out there. They think he's one of their best players.
And that's why I think
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 64. The penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down.
I think it's the strength of their football team, Matt, to go back to their front. And when you think about Vohasik's played a ton of snaps, Miles Murphy, he's had so much potential, and I think they think he can be a really good player. Ritzie is right behind him, and I think if you keep things simple and you can get a good pass rush, I think that'll help the secondary play better.
I'm going to let Cameron Kelly go at a punt here. Fields it at the 29-yard line, has some space, finds a crease, takes it into FAMU territory at the 44-yard line. We'll see if they bring Drake May back out. It is all Tar Heels, 49-24. The iconic Jordans, jump man here at North Carolina. We failed to get a pair up here in the booth, but how did I know that Kelsey Riggs would find her way into the shoes? Actually, of both schools tonight, Kels.
There's literally nothing that makes me more happy, Matt, than these shoes in my hand and football with this microphone standing on this field. You all know about the Jordan shoes, of course. I've got one of the exclusive pairs here that the team issues. Also, though, how about these LeBron shoes? LeBron actually partnered with FAMU last year in 2021. As you see, North Carolina trying to make a run for it right now. Last year in 2021, made them the first HBCU, guys, to partner and get to wear these shoes, the exclusives, the logo as well on all of their jerseys. Started with the basketball team making their way through. I've been a MJ girl for a long time, but these are pretty cool. They've got the logo right here. The Rattler on the top of this one on the left one, guys. So really cool thing, and just another effort by LeBron James to continue to try and highlight HBCUs. My intention, other than trying to get these shoes and feeling like I'm walking around with gold in my hands because I should have a security guard with these, is that I just really solely wanted you guys to debate LeBron and MJ up there. So good luck.
Like debate what? Basketball? Like the player?
Yeah.
Look,
who's the greatest?
I'm not even going to get in that argument here.
You're not doing that.
You know what? This isn't first take.
I teed you guys up for it.
But that's Mac's office with another Jordan wall, and it's Michael Jordan, 366 days a year that don't exist.
Listen, we're not going to argue. We're not going to argue about that. But how about Mac's wall, by the way?
That wall,
can we get his Mac's shoe games is pretty good.
Decorated for his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Mac. 71 years old.
You think he got a pair of Jordans for his birthday?
I mean,
he did.
We tried so hard.
We really did.
We did. We gave it an effort. Wasn't good enough. Jeremy, you owe us.
Thought it was weird that you were going to try to tackle Bubba Cunningham walking off the field to try to get his Jordans.
There goes Hampton. Omarian's like, you want to get some Petaway? Come get me. 25-yard touchdown. These true freshman running backs, he goes over 100 yards on the night. 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 carries. I'm not going to spit a hot take machine, Tim Hasselbeck, but these 2 true freshmen, they are going to be a problem for people.
Yeah, and they found backs. You know, they had 2 good backs a couple years ago. Ty Chandler was an effective back for them a year ago. And
Javante, Michael Carter.
And now you look at these 2 guys, is a really good start. And, you know, now you have a backfield now. You've created competition. And that competition is maybe bringing out the best in these players, and we're seeing it from the freshmen for sure.
So you look at Hampton, 14 carries, 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Petaway, 4 carries, 51 yards and a touchdown. Those are the true freshmen. And then Drake May's in there. But here's Hampton again. He was North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year.
Listen, I mean, he got us going on Natron Means early on, and you know, he runs with so much power. And then Petaway's speed. We saw him in the 2-minute drive, but you also saw a couple runs that were close to breaking, and then it was just a matter of time once he got into the open field that he was going to punch it in. And, you know, I think the duo being able to go between the power and the elusiveness is going to be something that's going to be hard for defenses to deal with.
So Hampton, 4-star kid, ESPN's number 15 running back. Petaway was actually ranked higher as the number 8 running back in the country. And I brought up during the break with these young running backs talking about the different skill set. Reminds me of back in the day, James Davis and CJ Spiller at Clemson when they were doing their Thunder Lightning. Davis more off tackle. Spiller was the guy that when he caught the ball out of the backfield or touched it, he was a home run waiting to happen.
I've been impressed, and the big thing with running backs when you play them as freshmen is you don't want to be handcuffed as a play caller. You want to feel like, hey, can I leave him in there on 3rd down? Does he know what he's doing in pass protection? And I think that would be the only thing that would limit these young freshmen from ever leaving the field.
I would say for any of them, I think the one thing any coach worries about with the young back is pass pro. That's it. Skills there.
Skills there. And I think DJ Jones started the game because, you know, listen, British Brooks probably would have been the starter, you know, if not for his injury. And so ultimately, you know, there's this trust that you're going to protect the football, that you're going to, you know your assignment in pass protection, that you're going to, you know, hit the hole the way that you've been coached to do that. And you know, I've seen enough out of these guys as runners to make sure you're spending extra time on the blitz pickup assignments.
And mind you, all of this is without the starter, British Brooks. British had earned the starting role. He's now a student coach, kind of helping the running backs and Mac Brown. But imagine now if you got, then you're going 5 deep in this running back, but it's the most cliche thing you'll hear in football, next man up. And these guys have taken advantage of it. You got a new quarterback now, Rashawn McKay. He's in for FAMU. We also saw Jacoby Criswell warming up on the North Carolina sidelines. So point of the game now, both backup quarterbacks are going to get in. We'll probably see some of the backup players for North Carolina defensively. As they get set now, they'll move to 1-0 on the season. And they head to Boone, North Carolina next week to take on Appalachian State. DeAndre Francis now, redshirt freshman, 5'7", 173. FAMU's got a huge game next week against Jackson State, and that was kind of one of the concerns when the story came out yesterday. But all told, they came, they competed, and they played. They ought to be proud of themselves.
There's no doubt they came and competed. And there's an element, there's always an excitement. If you get an opportunity to play an environment like this against an opponent like North Carolina, that is oftentimes the biggest game of your season. To be able to play on this stage and against some players that look, coming out of high school, people probably recruited as better players than you were. That being said, it feels like next week's game just as big, if not bigger, for this Florida A&M group.
All right, so 3rd and 5. That's going to fall incomplete, intended for Jalen Howard. I do love what North Carolina did this week on campus, the celebration of the HBCUs. The Florida A&M band is so good. It was so fun to watch and just elevated. We talked to Willie about that during our call this week. He wants people to understand that HBCUs bring talent. They bring good football. They came into this game saying they could compete with North Carolina, and really for 3 1/4 quarters they did. It's just about getting the attention. Deion went and got the #1 ranked player in the country to go to Jackson State.
And I think it's that point, and there's a couple of good players that weren't available tonight. And so, yeah, there's no doubt about it, talent on both sides of the field.
6:45 left in the 4th quarter. We're back after this. We mentioned the May connection here at quarterback. Mark May, 1986 ACC leading passer. And tonight, his son followed in his footsteps, made his debut as North Carolina's starting quarterback. Hey, Drake, your room's dirty, go clean it. Hey, Dad, let's compare numbers from debuts. You go clean my room because I had more touchdown. We're going to give you the numbers here in a minute as Jacoby Criswell's in at quarterback now. As we see Elijah Green, that is the 5th running back we've seen tonight, and Elijah Green gets up the sidelines for a big game. So as I was saying, Dad, you go make my bed. Now, having said that, Tim Hasselback, Dad got son in yards, but son got Dad in touchdown passes. Who do you declare the winner?
The winner is the dad. I don't care that they lost. He had to throw with Jeff Saturday's shoulder pads on. You see the size of those things? I don't know how you have that many attempts, A, back then, and B, with those shoulder pads.
Nah, I'm going Drake.
What?
5 more completions, too. Completions with a tiebreaker. Drake, you win. Dad buys dinner. There's Elijah Green again. Let's talk Jacoby Criswell now. He's been in this program. A lot of experience in terms of guys that have played here enough to where you thought he would walk in and win the job or at least compete for it. He got beat out, but he's taken it well.
Yeah, I think probably as well as you can take it. There's disappointment. Phil Longo, had recruited him for a while, knows him. I think they've got a very good relationship. He's got a good understanding of this offensive system, and there's no doubt that they feel comfortable with him in the game as the quarterback. Obviously, they were excited about Drake May, his decision-making, and it's why he got the nod.
He started a game last year against Wofford, his first career start, played in 4 last year, and then in 2020 played in 6 games. So in terms of gameplay experience, he had the start over Drake. But at the end of the day, Criswell was beat out. And look, it'll be a part of conversations throughout the week at every booth and every game across the country. When decisions are made like this, what's the first thing you think of when you name your starting quarterback and the guy you beat out?
You think about the guy leaving, and
Correct.
Obviously the windows and times to do that, and certainly not implying that Criswell was thinking about that. But one of the things Phil Longo did say about it, and make it be known truthfully, both Mac and Phil Longo spoke highly of Jacoby Criswell. They like him as a player. In fact, Phil Longo said he's got real arm talent. Like he said, go ask anybody that's been around him. Go ask Sam, what kind of arm Jacoby Criswell has. And so I think that, look, one guy plays. It's a unique position. That's difficult. You never know when your opportunity is going to come back around, and that's why you try to take advantage of opportunities like this to play during the end of a game.
Let's talk about one play away now as Criswell. He can do this, tucks the ball and runs. Good effort there, gets to the sideline, and a good gain out of Criswell. You know, you're always one play away, and we've seen a couple of times tonight Drake May take a couple of shots, went airborne one time. He appears to be one of those kids that you want to see. You want to give it your all. But you never know when the next guy is going to be needed. We saw it out of the running back room when British Brooks went down.
You don't know, and that's why it's not easy to be in these situations, to kind of keep your optimism, to be a supportive teammate. And I'll just say this for any quarterbacks that are still watching the game. It's important for a quarterback room to have support from the guy that's the backup. And the truth is, if you're supportive as the backup, when you get your opportunity, it comes back around, and there's a right way to handle it. It seems like they're doing it the right way.
Again, we've seen 5 running backs tonight. Elijah Green getting his number called. He's flashed here in a couple of opportunities he's gotten. Be sure to stick around, by the way, after the game for the ACC huddle. They'll have a full recap of tonight's game, highlights, analysis, interviews. And that's good before we wrap things up here. Tim, they actually called Aaron Katzman. By the way, congratulations, Aaron Katzman, 40 under 40. Of people in sports.
That's right.
I mean, he's a star waiting to happen in the executive world. Cornette and Matt Klain actually want Hasselbeck to stick around for a booth hit, just to kind of see what he saw up here. So,
you think I thought they wanted you to go down there with some hot takes. I want to see you and Matt Klain, battling it out.
Is this
hot takes.
Is this the portion of the program where we get into ESPN history? I actually auditioned Eric McClain for his job at the network, and I also auditioned E.J. Manuel. And
who had the better audition?
Guess
I want to know right now.
Well, they both got hired, so the host was good.
I didn't ask you if they got hired. I know they got hired. Who had the better audition?
Okay, so
they're so nervous right now if they can hear us.
Because they know I'm about to decide. Now, to be fair, I did studio and game with Matt Klain. So he was kind of a two-tool guy coming in game and studio.
The company had their eye on Matt Klain for a long time.
Elijah Green saves me here because he scored the touchdown. And I don't have to decide between E.J. Manuel and Eric McClain. I'll just say they're all really good at their job, as is Jordan Cornette. Those 3 coming up after the game, and yet another North Carolina running back has scored a touchdown. 62-24. And each team will move on to their Week 1 opponent. Florida A&M Jackson State, North Carolina. Back-to-back road trips. Boone, North Carolina. They're going to go mess around with Appalachian State. Who knows going to be geared up for that one. Then they've got Georgia State. And if you're wondering why North Carolina's traveling to App State and Georgia State, I'm sure they probably are too. It'll be the bye week.
Run on the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
That's what you need.
Did you buzz for that, Matt?
They'll get that's exactly what I need. They'll get the bye week and then go to Notre Dame. Since you won't be gracing the huddle with your presence, I'll take another look at it here real quick while we've got you.
Elijah Green.
Oh, he's down.
Short.
Down.
We'll pull that off the board. And so now, as we're waiting for them to respot this and put the clock, who had the better audition?
Let me read the next promo they put up on the screen here. You guys got anything you want to run out of the truck? What do you have?
Is there a field hockey promo you're getting to, Matt? What do you got?
Let's promote some ACC Network games next week. All right, let's take a look now at the North Carolina schedule here. So, look, all right, North Carolina's 8 straight on the road. They just haven't been a good road team. So Appalachian State, to me, when you look at this schedule, you're gonna know anything and everything you want about North Carolina after next week, because that environment for this young team is going to be as loud and hostile as any environment on this schedule, if not the most.
And it's one of the reasons Mac felt like they needed to play this game. When this game was unsure about this game, they needed to play this game to see what they had, to kind of figure it out before you go play App State. And App State, in Boone is going to be a challenge. They have good players. That is a good defense. That is a tough football team, and so that is a huge challenge. Georgia State, obviously, not necessarily.
At the first review, the runner was down at the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal. The game clock will start on my signal.
So that, I believe, that was our first official review tonight. We had the Drake May run earlier. It wasn't an official review, so we got out of here 3 quarters and 13 and a half minutes without a review. We didn't have a targeting penalty with the 136 left. It's been, for a week 0, I'd say, Tim, pretty clean.
I would agree.
3 penalties for North Carolina, 9 of them for FAMU. Here's 2nd and goal. It's Criswell and Green in the backfield again. And now we have a flag. Did I jinx it?
You did.
I did. I jinxed the cleanliness of this game.
Matt, to just kind of finish up on that schedule, I think we're going to get a hold here, by the way.
Holding. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Look, they're hard games, super winnable games prior to that Notre Dame game. Bye week before that Notre Dame game. Think of the magnitude of that game.
If they go in 3-0.
Yeah, because it's a big game with where Notre Dame is now.
Look, Notre Dame's got Ohio State week 1.
I get it. And someone's going to lose that game. But, assuming that game is a competitive game. We talked about it before, about the Florida State LSU game being a big game. How these ACC schools do against non-conference opponents that people nationally respect matter.
Boy, did I really do us in, didn't I?
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down. Because the game clock was running under 1 minute, the penalty has 10-second runoff options.
You think when Mac goes back to Boone next week, they remember that, Mac Brown?
I think he's wearing those shorts. Probably a shirt
Please
with a
set the game
collar
clock
like that.
to 35 seconds.
What a legend.
Side of my signal.
Look at that hair. That is prolific.
Listen, if you're complimenting the hair, it must be really
That's
good.
actually true. It's like chefs can compliment food, hair can compliment hair. Which, by the way, speaking of hair, if you're looking for that, don't watch the ACC huddle. There is not one follic,
honestly,
on the trio.
You people with hair think you're so cool.
And Kelsey Riggs will be interviewing Mac Brown here in a moment in that post-game show. But there you have it, 56-24, the final for Mac Brown in North Carolina to get out of here with the win. There was some sloppy, there was some really good, there's some coachable moments. And Willie Simmons and Florida A&M, they came in a difficult situation and they played their butts off. Way to show out for the Rattlers. Tim, your final thoughts.
Listen, it was a great effort by FAMU. I was impressed by the way they fought. Also really impressed with that guy there, Drake May. Outstanding start to the Drake May era here at North Carolina. And I think there's a lot to build on, a lot to correct for the Tar Heels, but certainly a lot to build on, a lot to be excited about as they head into this season.
An ideal scenario if you're a head coach, get in a game that you believe that you can compete, but a game that you're also going to have to fight. That's the only way you know who you are.
Hey, and things that you can correct. Like, yes, we scored 56 points, but there is a lot that needs to be cleaned up as the schedule gets more difficult.
All right, Kelsey now joined with the birthday boy, Mac Brown, victorious.
Coach, just here congratulating players as they walk by. And Coach, how about that quarterback? You told us that headed into this game, what separated him was his decision making and his ability to distribute the ball. We saw that tonight. What impressed you the most?
I think what we said at halftime, he's very even keel. He's very confident. He's a great leader, but he gets the ball where it's supposed to be. He's not going to make many mistakes, and he's very smart, savvy at the line of scrimmage, so he gets us in the right play, and we got some good skill people.
You said at the half you wanted to see some adjustments defensively, and we saw those. What do you need to work on to improve the rest of this season?
You know, everybody tackles poorly in the opening game because you don't tackle much in preseason, so that's 100%. We forced 2 turnovers and scored 14 points off both of them. I was really proud our offense scored right before the end of the half and right afterwards. And then we did some better things to get off the field on third down situations second half. We had 1 3rd and 9 that we let them hit. But number 8 for them, Moose is a good player. He got the ball out of his hands quick. He did really well. And we got to remember, this team won 9 games and went to the playoffs last year, so this isn't a slouch team. Coach Simmons has done a good job.
Coach, I imagine when you woke up this morning and you made your birthday wish, this was it, a win on your birthday? Happy birthday.
Thank you. I said I wanted to win. I wanted to stay healthy, which I think we've stayed pretty healthy. And I wanted us to look really good, but have a lot we can fix. So I think I'm good.
All in all, a great day, Coach. Congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Matt?
Yeah, Kelsey, he hit on it there. When you get in a season opening game, you just want to make yourself better for the next week. And we saw Josh Downs, as expected, showed up. 12 targets, had 9 receptions, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Limped up a little bit, but he looks as if he's okay. He'll have another opportunity to get out there next week. As we go back down to Kelsey in the quarterback.
Yeah, here with Drake May, all smiles. Drake, just first of all, how did that feel?
Yes, ma'am. No, it was awesome being outside. I thought we had a good show up with the fans, and it felt good to be out there with teammates and get a win tonight.
So much continuity, not with one player, not with one tight end, but with all of these receivers, and then dished it off to your running backs as well. What do you attribute that to?
Yes, ma'am. That's just the offense. You know, Coach Longo, the offense is get the ball out of my hands and put it in the guys that run better than me. So that's just the goal that we got out each week, and I think we did that tonight.
Drake, so much anticipation heading into this game about who would be the starter, and then when it was you, what this moment would be like. What will you take away from this first start and this first win here at Carolina?
Oh, it was awesome. You know, something I always remember. But we got to get App State next week. We owe them one, so we're looking forward to that.
Matt and Tim already looking ahead to the next one. He's ready for what lies ahead. Drake, thank you.
Kelsey, keep Drake there for a minute.
Stay here for 1 second. They got one more for you.
Because I want Drake to know. Ask him if he knows who threw more touchdowns in their debut, Drake or his dad.
Drake, what they want to know is, do you know who threw more touchdowns in their debut, you or your dad?
I had to go with me. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure me.
How about yours?
My dad, I just asked him the other day, just pull up some old film so I could see him play.
He threw 5.
Got to see him play, so that's what I'm looking for.
Dad threw 3.
Yeah, you had 5 and Dad had 3. So you've got that one over him. You can have
good though. Pretty good. Yeah.
complimentary on the way out as well, you guys. Thanks, Drake.
Awesome stuff, Kelsey. Yeah. Awesome stuff, Drake. What a season opener for North Carolina. We started the broadcast, Tim, talking about a team, top 10 expectations a year ago. No one talking about them now, but certainly they've shown us the skill's there.
The skill is there. The quarterback looks to be there as well.
It's going to be a fun season to watch them. For our producer, Ben Hogg, Kelsey Riggs, Tim Hasselbeck, and Matt Barry, we send it to the huddle. 56-24, North Carolina the win. Jordan Cornette, this show is all yours.